Hello! Guess what this is? So, did you know that on the Touhou Wiki, there's a tab specifically for characters for fandom related things? Not the Fandom Wiki. I'm not talking about the Fandom Wiki. I'm talking about the Touhou Wiki. There's a page exclusively for characters that gives a little bit of information on fan-based activity. I've been reading some of these because I've been working on my video, and let's just say some of these haven't been checked since 2004. We're gonna read them. We're gonna go through them. I've seen a couple, but I figured this is content gold because, oh my god, who wrote this? And where's the source? Because what you're writing, I have never seen before in my life. You'll see what I mean when we get there. So we're gonna start with highly responsive to prayers. So, fandom. So as you see, we got some things here. This is the fandom page. So, we're gonna start reading. You can read with me, but I'm gonna read, okay? This is a reading stream. You don't even have to watch the stream. You can read it if you want, but it cuts off on the side. So, I made it not cut off anymore. There you go. But yeah, this is a stream you could listen to if you'd like, instead of watching. But I'm putting the words up there so you can at least see something if you want to read it. Sorry. Let's begin. Singyoku. Singyoku's third form is highly treated as a male, where it's seldom to see him shown as a female in artwork. Its second form is also shown highly as a female. So first of all, I don't know how to read that sentence. So from what I understand, that sentence is saying that the male version of Singyoku is very rarely shown as female, and the second form, the female form, is shown highly as female. I don't know what that means. Okay, all right. Makai. So this is Makai in general. I don't know what this is. Regardless if no character was shown to be from Makai, an undefined fantastic object, Piece 98 characters still shown to live here in connection with Windows canon. Often shown that the Windows Alice Margatroyd revisits here as though it's her former home. Huh? Where? Where does it show that? Luis is sometimes shown to travel to modern-day Gensokyo. What? Where does that happen? Shinki is known to take visits to Gensokyo amongst fanworks, sometimes as a representative of Makai. How come only Shinki is specified as fanworks? Remember, this is fandom, chat. It's in the fandom tab, so automatically everything is explicitly in for fandom. Now, the Alice bit actually checks out for fandom. The Shinki bit checks out for fandom. I've never seen anybody draw Luis traveling to modern-day Gensokyo. Even in Mystia's Izakaya, where Luis is a character, she doesn't actually go to Gensokyo, unless, of course, you invite her to your shop, but that's different. Remember, fandom tab, chat, fandom tab. You need to assume that everything said here is implying fanon, not canon. So before we all have a migraine about it, remember that little precursor, alright? Okay. Not Yugen. Byakuya and Hijiri and Shinki are often depicted in fandom having a relationship or acquaintance with each other. We saw that in Fantasy Maiden Wars, by the way. Sometimes because of the same location, and the fan is just that Shinki taught Byakuya in some of her attacks, like the spell card. That's referring to Devil's Recitation, because it's an attack. It's a spell card that Byakuya uses that looks like a move that Shinki uses. There's some truth to that. The resemblance between Byakuya and Shinki's Danmaku could be explained by Shinki teaching her the pattern while she was in Makai. Believable. Checks out. Kwakama is sometimes said to be originally from Makai due to being a devil. Yes, she has a chicken farm. Due to the inconsistencies that surround Makai, some would speculate that there might actually be more than one Makai to explain why there appears to be inconsistencies. One example is that Shinki does not reference the events of highly responsive to prayers in Mystic Square when talking to Rainbow Hakurei. Another is the difference between the PC-98 and Windows. I've never heard anybody claim there was multiple Makais, but there is a semblance of reasoning to that I can understand. But if you want to know the actual reason why she doesn't mention anything about highly responsive to prayers, because highly responsive to prayers isn't canon. In the manual for Touhou 1 and 2, Zun writes that Despite, even though the games are named as Touhou 1 and Touhou 2, Touhou 1 has no story bearing to the story of Touhou 2, which means Touhou 2 is the start of Touhou's lore. Touhou 1 happens, no bearing to the story, which means doesn't matter, that didn't happen. And that's only, that's only increased by the fact that nobody mentions anything regarding the first game ever. That there's the original Breakout game is a game that exists in its own bubble within the bubble that is PC 98. It's cool. There's a lot of cool things in the first game, character design wise, but yes, it is the most like solo project Touhou has ever been. Like everything that happened in Touhou 1 stays in Touhou 1. Okay. Not the Kongi. Somebody ban that guy. Yuga Magan. Yuga Magan's appearance by the fan base is rather seldom due to being a PC 98 character. A little more than that, but you're right. Appears that it's rare for Yuga Magan to appear in fan games, mostly drawn in fan art. Other characters are highly responsive pairs in Makai. This is true. However, despite Yuga Magan's gender to be unknown, it's highly treated to be a female because of the figure in the center and the fact that most characters in Touhou Project are female. In addition to this, Yuga Magan has been drawn as a human-like character in some fan art, mainly being depicted in pure gold or constructed from electricity. This is true. This is actually true. Although, I gotta admit, I have never once referred to Yuga Magan as a female. I have always referred to it as Yuga Magan because it is 5 floating eyeballs. That is what Yuga Magan is to me. The figure in the center is interesting, I agree. I do agree with that. But it's also just like, it's nothing because Yuga Magan is nothing. Alright, Ellie. Ellie is speculated to be a vampire due to her ability to turn into a bat. Yep. She's often compared with other devil-like characters such as Remilia Scarlet, Flandre Scarlet, Kurumi, and Gengetsu. Now, interesting that they use the term devil-like and then list the 3 other vampires, but then they also list Gengetsu, whose title is demon. She's a demon. She's scary. Sariel. Now this is one of the ones that really kind of got the ball rolling for this whole shtick, chat. For some reason in the Western fan base, Sariel is sometimes shown to be with Renosuke Morichika. Has anybody ever in their life ever seen fan art of these 2 characters together? Ever. For some reason. I love that preface, yes. In the Western fan base, these characters have never been in the same image. Ever. Google it right now. Google Sariel and Renosuke and let me know if you get a hit. Let me know if you get a hit. This is the strangest thing I've seen yet. But actually, there's one in the next game that's actually going to make you scratch your head. And that's what really made me want to do this video. Mima. Mima has proved that even if she's a PC 98 character, she's still very notable by a large number of fans, and has a fair number of fan art and fan videos among current characters today. Along with Shinky, she's one of the most desired PC 98 characters to return in Windows game. That is correct. Windows appearances and indirect connections. Before its release, Subterranean Animism was speculated to have Mima return as one of the bosses. It disappointed many fans that she did not appear in this game. After this, 10 Desires was again more widely speculated to feature Mima's return thanks to the heavy spirit ghost themes as well as references to the prologue to the resurrection of a person who sought revenge. Some fans joked that resurrection should have been said reincarnation. Sadly disappointed many fans that she again did not appear in the game. This happened yet again in Foul Detective Satori, where the Jailbreak King was speculated to be Mima due to being a vengeful spirit with a grudge against Hakure's shrine, only for it to be eventually revealed that it was an entirely new character. With this, particularly in the Western fan base, well before this, by the way, it became a running gag to always speculate that Mima, often humorously, will appear in the next Touhou game regardless of its themes or references. That is true. That is a common meme, but it definitely started before CDS, but CDS was definitely the closest it's ever been to being like, oh, for real this time. Twilight Spark. Now, this is a cool one. So Twilight Spark is not an actual move that she uses, but it is a move that she's quite well known for, I would say. Notably in Touhou Sakura Mushoden, Mima was given the spell Twilight Spark, which is a far larger and more powerful version of the Master Spark used by Marissa and Yuka, to the point where it can be seen from space. This has become a popular meme, sometimes called the Mother of All Sparks by Western fans. Never heard that term before. Its popularity also led some people mistakenly thinking of it as actually being used by her in canon. So yeah, Twilight Spark is not a real move that Mima does. It's a move that was, I think it debuted originally in Touhou Soccer. It's the big move where she snaps her finger and then you get a massive ass fucking laser. It's super cool. It's super cool. And it makes sense for her to have it, I think, because, you know, Marissa's teacher and all that. Close relation with Marissa. There's a fan theory that Mima is the one that taught Marissa how to use magic. Believable. That is mainly because Marissa's first appearance in Story of East Wonderland, Marissa tries to protect Mima, who she calls Mima-sama, and when Mima defeats Marissa during Phantasmagoria Dim Dream, she scolds Marissa to train harder. It's also worth noting that every attack Marissa used in her first appearance, Mima could use as well. See, that's an interesting little factoid, not the one I used though. Final boss fight of Story of East Wonderland variations. To add to this, there's another fan theory that Mima is Marissa's mother. I've never heard that one before. This is based on the story text accompanying track 10, Reincarnation, Mima's theme from Phantasmagoria of Dim Dream, of the music CD Dolls in Pseudo Paradise. I don't know what that story is, but no, not mommy. Why would you post that? Why would you think it was okay to post that? We're having a serious discussion here, you stupid piece of shit. Alright? Anyway, miscellaneous, Hakude resident. She is occasionally depicted in fan art or doujinshi as having taken up residence in the Hakude shrine, similar to Suika Ibuki. Shrimp tempura. Some people think that Mima's ghostly tail in Touhou 1-3 resembles a piece of shrimp tempura. As such, she is occasionally depicted with it in fan art. Chat, has anyone ever seen Mima with shrimp tempura? Another two-tail. Mima is often compared to Soga no Tojiko due to their ghost tail they both have. Maybe. Maybe. Kikuri. Some fans tend to think of her as a maiden that was long ago sealed into the bronze disc. I don't know what that means, chat. I have no idea what that means, but sure. Kongara. Oni. Kongara is often depicted to be an Oni because of the horn on her head. She's even a fan theory that Kongara could very well be the big four of the mountain, but the canonicity between the PC98 windows comes into play. Because of this, they are sometimes paired with Suika, Yugi, or Kasen. An alternate theory claims that the horn on their head is actually a metal spike stuck in it, based on how it appears to have a drop of blood dripping from it. I have no idea which motherfucker looked at her character art and... Look. Kongara. A metal spike, huh? A metal spike with a drip of blood going down her forehead. Okay. 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 Crazy. Miscellaneous. Some artworks present Kongara as male or as an attendant of a deity. Has anyone ever seen artwork like that before? Some Western fans tend to call Kongara Astral Knight Kongara, which makes sense since Kongara's title is Astral Knight. Wow, you mean the Western fans call Astral Knight Kongara Astral Knight Kongara? That's insane. That's crazy. I can't believe somebody would do that. I have never seen artwork of her just at all, any at all. Didn't you see the Kongara video that Akatsuki Records made when they made their Kongara song? You didn't see? You didn't see? Of course you did. Nobody did anything with it. But you didn't see? Alright. Well, there's your Touhou 1 stuff, chat. Now we're on the Touhou 2. Genji, spelled with 2 I's, by the way. Despite being a PC98 character, Genji is still shown to commonly be around the Hakude Shrine in modern Gensokyo with Reimu in a good number of fanworks. Although Reimu is able to fly independently, she is still shown in a number of fanworks to still be sitting on Genji, presumably either to be show-off or to have extra power. The most notable fanwork to feature this is Touhou Soccer Mushouden. That's correct, because her final game-breaking shot is starts with her sitting on Genji's back. Alright. Bake Bake. Similar to the Kadama, despite being a PC98 enemy, the Bake Bake are most popular in fan games as a generic enemy. Many Western fans call the Bake Bake tongue ghosts or Mr. Ghostly, and later, thanks to Touhou Mother, some fans misspell it as Mr. Ghosty because of the game. I don't actually know what people call it, but most of those seem fine to me. The Bake Bake I've seen in fan art with Yuko Saigyoji and Mima for obvious reasons. Some fans describe them as the fairies of the PC98 era. Honestly, I believe that. Because they are probably the most common enemy type in the entirety of PC98. And just like fairies, they just kind of fucking show up. However, all the ones in Touhou 2, at the very least in the first level, were made by Rika. They're mechanical. Shrine tank. Fan art often depicts the tank to be an actual shrine of some sort. They may also depict it to be a more realistic tank. Chat, have you ever seen art of the shrine tank? Just wondering. Do you even know what the shrine tank is, chat? Before we move on, do you even know what the shrine tank is? Yes, 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 no. What is it, chat member? Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. I know what it is. Tell me what it is. Correct. It is the stage 1 mid-boss. It's the stage 1 mid-boss. It is not it's not the boss of the stage. The boss of the stage is the flower tank. The shrine tank is the one on the bridge. It's sometimes compared to other tanks. Oh, hold on. Hold on, chat. My spaghetti is here. I must disappear. Please mold without me for a little bit. I'll be right back. I'm back. And I remembered something very important. I can't hold a fork. Good. I can't hold my fork. Hold on. I'm gonna keep that up. I will mute when I chew. But I am eating because I am hungry. That's not gonna be avoided. Bro, I fucking love water. Oh my god. Water. Thank you, Anchovy, for gifting a sub. Oh, look at that lovely salsa goo. Oh, it smells so goo. Alright. Alright, hold on. I have nowhere to put this. Fuck. I'll just move my... I'll move my gummies over here, I guess, for now. Okay. Alright, alright. I'm gonna eat with my right... Oh, I got out my microphone! No! Oh, it's gonna be so messy. I'm gonna make such a mess. Alright. Let's finish reading. Alright. Alright. Anyway, what was I reading? I was on Shrine Tank, right? Yeah. Sometimes compared to other tanks, such as the Flower Tank and Evil Eye Sigma, along with Rika sitting on it. Wow, I can't imagine why. Rika. Although her sprite appears vaguely in Stage 1, fans who draw her commonly depict her wearing brown pants or trousers. This is correct. Rika looks similar and has a similar name to... Rika looks similar and has a similar name to Rikako. These two are compared and speculated to be the same character, being related, or just being friends. So this is the shit that I read that I just had to fucking do this. Did you follow along with what I just said? Rika and Rikako look similar. They are speculated to be the same character. Who wrote that? Who the fuck wrote that? Who wrote that? Why would you write that? They look nothing alike. They look nothing alike. I'm so angry. Oh my god. Getting mad. Alright, hold on. I have to figure out how to take a bite of my spaghetti with my right hand. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna bite. This is difficult. Maybe they mean their names are similar in spelling and meaning. Rika looks similar and has a similar name to Rikako Asakura. It is the first 3 fucking words, my guy. The first 3 words. These two are compared and speculated be the same character. Be the same character! How similar are the kanji? They're the same kanji because Rika means science. And Ko is just a thing you throw on to make a girl's name. So, Rikako's name is actually just like Science Girl. That's her name. Rika's name is Science, and Rikako's name is Science Girl. Cool, right? Whenever you see Ko at the end of a name, it's usually just thrown there to make it feel like, you know, make it a girl's name. Junko. Rikako. Tenko. All kinds of things. It just girlifies your name. There's a couple for guys as well. I believe Suke is a popular one for guys. Suke. That's a popular one to like boyify a name, like Kyosuke, for example. Yeah, Suwako is yeah, Suwa girl. Maru is one. Anyway, we're reading now, okay? We're reading now. We're still reading Rika. It's also common to depict Rika being friends with Nitori Kawashiro, both being engineers and they both construct tanks. Some fans associate Rika with Rika Furude, as they share the pronunciation of their name as well as their mannerisms of speech. Chat, you ever see that before in your life? It is considered by many for Rika and the Evil Eye Sigma to be the most difficult extra boss in the Touhou project. Well, yeah. That boss is stupid. That boss is stupid because that game is ass. Is that true? Well, I mean, it's subjective. It is a subjective thing, but I do believe that Evil Eye Sigma is an awful boss. You cannot see its health bar, and you're playing Story of Eastern Wonderland. There is no focus button in Story of Eastern Wonderland. There is no visible hitbox. There's no focus button. You know what's really funny? Is that when you get hit, your hurtbox shifts, and you can't see where it is. Normally, it's not a problem because you can guess where you are, but that game actually moves your hurtbox. But not by very much, but it moves it enough that you can get hit when you should be safe. It's really cool. Alright, Evil Eye. Evil Eyes are often depicted with other stage enemies such as Bake Bake and Hoshizako. Some fans tend to see the Evil Eye Sigma as the king of all the Evil Eyes. Though not as popular as the Bake Bake, they sometimes still show up as stage enemies in fan games. Her speech, Noroiko is the Curse Lady. She's the Curse Lady, the mid-boss of Stage 2. She's a very unique Danmaku. Noroiko is often compared to other mid-boss characters like Matenshi. That's the Stage 4 mid-boss character, by the way. And Daiose. First of all, no, they're not. Alright. Alright, okay. Matenshi, yes. Yes. Daiose, no. No. Daiose and Kwakama are their own. They're not comparable to Norioko. All right, they're not comparable. Her species is thought to be a yokai because of this. Some Western fans call her the nameless mid-boss yokai. Wow, those Western fans sure are creative. In some fan art, she is drawn with either green or red eyes. The aura around her is often drawn as cloth that floats. She's sometimes compared with Parsi Mizuhashi due to similarities of negative energy. I like how much information is on this character, like anybody has ever actually drawn them in their life. But streamer, what about the puppet dance mod? Yeah, that counts. All right. Do you even know who this is? Now that I've said their name and where they're from, do you even remember what they look like? Probably not. But if you do, good for you. Who cares? But why is there 4 different slots of information for this character? Anyway, food time. Okay. The spaghetti is great, but I am eating it like a 5-year-old. Legitimately, I have that little coordination in my right hand. Got a messy mouth, dude. A messy mouth. I'm just trying not to spill it on my desk. Alright. Meira. Possibly due to Meira and Reimu Hakure's conversation in Stage 2, there is some fan art pairing these two, especially with PC98 version of Reimu. See, that's really funny because Meira says, besides, I'm a woman. That's gross. Of course that means she's gay. Of course it does. She's a target for jokes where she's male due to her conversation with Reimu. Is she? That would imply that people actually talk about this character. 2 red dots. So if you don't know who the 2 red dots are, chat, let me clue you in. The 2 red dots are the mid-boss of Stage 3. They're weird eyeball things. They run up the side of the screen, and they cross by each other, and then they go down the screen, and they cross by each other, and they go up the screen. It's sometimes speculated that Mima or Rika created these things. Them being associated with them. They may also be compared to other non-humanoids, such as the 5 magic stones. The auras around them are sometimes treated as tentacles. What? They may be called the Story of Eastern Wonderland 3rd stage mid-boss. Wow. Wait, I called them that. I called them that. How'd they know? 5 magic stones. Some fans speculate that these spheres will only attack if there is any form of magic energy nearby. It is speculated that they were created by Mima due to the spheres being outside Reimaden, where Mima was at the time. There are others also speculations they were created by Rika due to Rika wanting revenge on Reimu Hakure, or because the spheres act like a machine. But this is unlikely because Rika wanted Reimu to follow her, and Reimu headed off to the world of fantasies. It is sometimes speculated that the spheres are indeed gatekeepers of Reimaden. Some fan art depicts a random character sitting on top of one of the spheres. What does that mean? What does that mean? Some fan art depicts a random character sitting on top of one of the spheres. Who's this random character sitting on top of these spheres? This has got to be one of the most unpopular Touhou characters in existence. They're so unpopular that they don't even have a real name. Matenshi. Oh god, Marissa. Matenshi is often compared to other mid-boss only characters such as Noriyoko or Daiose. Stop comparing yourself to Daiose. Due to her looks, some Western fans call her the nameless mid-boss angel. She is often drawn with blue eyes in fan art. Marissa. See fandom main characters Marissa. Okay. I'll get back to you on that. We did Mima. Evil Eye Sigma. It is considered by many for the Evil Eye Sigma along with Rika to be... Yeah, okay, we already read that. Some fans tend to see the evil... We read that too. Fan art often views the tank with a rather cute appearance. Huh? It's a bloodshot eye. While others go the opposite and give the tank a dark side. The tank is often compared with its counterparts, the Shrine Tank and the Flower Tank, only as well as other machinery, such as Mimi-chan. Alright. Alright, chat. Let's go to the main character tab, and we'll deal with Reimu and Marissa right now. Good God. Alright. But first, spaghetti! I'll be right back. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? So, canonically, Remilia is a messy eater. That's where her nickname comes from. The Scarlet Devil, it's because she never drinks enough blood to convert people, and she gets it all over herself. She gets messy. So, if you made spaghetti for Remilia, she would get it all over herself. Sakuya would hand her a bib, and she'd be like, what the fuck is this? and then she wouldn't put it on, and then she would get covered in spaghetti. And Sakuya just wouldn't say anything, and Ramelia wouldn't say anything. And then next time she has spaghetti, she will put the bib on. She will put the bib on. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Alright, Reimu. Reimu turns out to be a widely popular character among the fan base. Damn. Impressive. Good job, Reimu. She's usually chosen as the playable character in a lot of fan games. Or at least appears in a high number of fan games. Unlike most characters, Reimu has been compared to a lot of characters, especially some of the cast of Seiho Project, although Reimu is known to be the same character as her PC-98 form. There's no confirmation on that. Some fans still depict both versions as different people, sometimes even been next to each other. I don't think any PC-98 character in Windows is confirmed to be one of the same. But Zun really did like to tease it with Yuka and Alice. And also, more recently in 19, that Reimu has a little bit of a little reference to Genji. So it's weird. He'll never really come out and say it, I don't think. But regardless of which way you view it, it doesn't really matter. I think it's more fun when you consider them separate. I'm sorry. It's more fun when you consider them the same, but like you can do good plots with considering them separate. I like considering Alice to be the same because I like the family dynamic that she has with Makai. Yuka as well because of her longevity, but Reimu and Marissa having them be separate characters I think is maybe a little bit better for those two. No, I don't think he didn't say that about Alice. I don't remember if he specified it about Yuka though, but I believe that Alice and Yuka are the same as their PC-98 versions, simply because that's the version of them I like the most. PC-98 is canon to Windows. It's not. PC-98, the last official statement that Zun ever made on PC-98 is that it is canon. Basically, it is canon until Windows does something that would render it not canon anymore, in which case it's not canon. That's boiling down what he said. That's what he said in a nutshell. Essentially, he said there's nothing wrong with, like, believing something is canon, but if something in the Windows era, like, makes it impossible for the PC-98 era to happen, then to look at the later material as your, like, canon source. So yes, essentially he said that everything in PC-98 is canon until Windows does something that would make it impossible to be canon. That's why characters like Shinki being in Makai is still perfectly possible. Because there's nothing that ever said that Shinki could not exist in Makai. And we know Makai exists in Windows lore as well, which is cool. So, yeah, there you go. The Dai Touhou says Alice was introduced in Touhou 5, though. She was. Reimu was also introduced in Touhou 1, and Marissa was introduced in Touhou 2. So you better take that Suiker and shove it where the sun don't shine. Alright? I don't need any of your, I'm actually here, Buster. I'm the streamer. I get to make up the rules. Okay? Anyway. Reimu. Reimu is most fan games often a mid-laning character, better used for healing, buffing than offense. That is actually true. That is very true. If Reimu is not an all-rounder, she's like a strange support character. Or she's like trying to be offensive, but she can't actually muster up any fucking offense. Stupid piece of shit. Perhaps this is done in protest to her overpowered heroine status in the canon. You know, I never thought of it like that. I never really thought of it like that, but yeah, I guess. But when you think of main character, you often think of them as, like, pretty balanced. But I guess Reimu plays more of a support role despite being the main character. And then you have Marissa, who is damage and frailty. Marissa's always the same. Yuka always ends up with a slow gimmick, I notice. I think it's just because her movement speed in Touhou 9 is, like, at the lowest in the game. But because of that, whenever she's, like, a playable character, she's always slow as shit. Oh, I started... well, on spaghetti time. Genius Asafidos does Yugi. Yugi's not really slow per se, but Yugi's kind of like a rock ground type. She has high HP. She's got great offense. She's got defense. But then if you hit her on the magic side, she kind of crumbles. But she hits like a fucking truck. But Marissa's extremely high, fast, high damage magic. But if she doesn't kill what's in front of her, she's probably going to die to it instead. GOSV Reimu is bad. Safido's Reimu is bad, and I stick by that. She's like your only source of light damage, but she does no fucking actual damage. Her gimmick is that she can't miss, but it doesn't matter 90% of the time. So the post-game that they made had to make enemies that were like, hey, we're Dark Element and we're hard to hit, so use Reimu, please. But it's just a toxic fight because it just means their evasion is too fucking high. But Streamer, she has borders that make damage immune. Yes, she sure does. She sure does. What else does she do? You know when I put Satori on the field, she can just click buttons. She never attacks, but she always has a button she can click. Aku too. Aku can click buttons. She doesn't need to attack. What does Reimu do when she doesn't click barrier? She attacks. But it's like laughable, dude. It's laughable. She's not a good character. You could give Patchy a fucking book and tell her to beat the shit out of someone and she's more effective than Reimu. Like, what? Patchouli. Miss Magic. Miss Magic, you can spec her into offense and she will just go and beat the shit out of things with physical damage and out-damage Reimu. What is Reimu doing in that game? She's not doing anything. Sakuya gets a fucking claymore. She's awesome, but then she falls off really hard. It's actually kind of sad how badly she falls off. Yomu doesn't, though. Yomu does not fall off. Yomu gets access to some bullshit in the end game. But Yomu is a character who takes a little bit to get going, and she's like the main character that makes me kind of annoyed that you can only have 5 buffs at one time. But goddamn, can she do damage? Sakuya is great, but then she just kind of can't do anything after a while. No, the insta-kill's not even worth it by that point, though. I don't think anything you want to, like, fight has insta-kill weakness. Honestly, like, you're mostly going for the high material drops from, like, the pseudo-boss enemies. So she's not worth it there. Her field effects are whatever. Alright, we need to actually, like, pay attention and read what we're reading. Okay? Destitute. An embodiment of Scarlet Devil, has been said that pretty much nobody goes to the shrine, thus it has been a common interpretation that she gets 0 donations. Due to this, she's called Bimbo Miko. They're calling her a bimbo. Destitute Shrine Maiden. As a side effect, she also frequently portrayed by fans as being greedy or obsessed with getting money. Newsflash, brother, that's not only the fans portraying that. That is not only the fans that portray Reimu as greedy or obsessed with getting money. That is that is something that was written 20 years ago. Poor. Oh man. Armpits as a necessity. Due to how she dresses in the Windows Touhou games, her exposed armpits are sometimes a target for jokes and memes. Due to this, she's commonly called Waki Miko, Armpit Miko. Upon hiding her armpits, anyone would notice at once, and before her back, chest, or feet, her armpits are always the first thing appealed to. Okay, I kind of had a stroke when I was reading that, but Wyatt... Okay, first of all, I'm gonna back the fuck up. Back the fuck up for a second. As a side effect, she... what? Before her back, her chest, or her feet. These are the 3 parts of the body that this decided to reference in terms of checking for sexual appeal. Her back, her chest, and her feet. In that order. Who wrote this? Her armpits are always the first thing. Unbelievable. Heretic. Other than the idea that money is dirty related to the Destitute meme, in canon her personality is comparatively severe. In yokai extermination she has no mercy. So she's sometimes called Yakuza Miko. Furthermore, upon facing off with Toyohime in Silence Under in Blue, she used the words, "If one doesn't shoot down and slay without one remaining, If there's impurity on the moon, then Danmaku shall be scattered. I have no idea what I just read. She's said to be a little severe and without mercy, so she occasionally doesn't spare, using unfair measures. I like the idea of Reimu being a bit of a cheater sometimes, but only if the enemy she's facing deserves it. Zombie Reimu. The drastic change in the color of Reimu's skin tone over the course of the Windows games, most notably in Mountain of Fate, which her skin appears yellowish and almost jaundiced, raised eyebrows and led to a number of jokes and dubious theories, the most common of which is that she's actually an undead zombie. Now, to be fair, she does look kind of unhealthy. She does look kind of unhealthy in Touhou 10. But she's okay. She got better. Miscellaneous. Tau Reimu, Dai Reimu, etc. A defeated Reimu is sometimes called Tau Reimu. A hit Reimu is sometimes called Dai Reimu. And an angry Reimu is sometimes called Buchigiri Reimu, and thus given her Shiritori-like names. I don't know what I just read. Concerning the god enshrined at the shrine. Ryunosuke knows who the god enshrined at the shrine is. However, since Reimu is completely uninterested in whatever god is enshrined, he didn't say at all. Due to this, there has been fanned to interpret that this means that the enshrined god is Mima, Gensokyo itself, etc. So, Ryunosuke knows. But he never told the audience because Reimu said she doesn't care. What the fuck, Reimu? Oni Miko. When she shows her true strength, she becomes Oni Miko. Flight on Genji. Although Reimu was able to fly independently, she's still shown that a number of fan works to still be sitting on Genji. Presumably either to show off her extra power, most full Mushin. Okay, I read that one earlier with Genji. JoJo's association. In the trend of JoJo associations, it appears Reimu is paired with Josuke Higashikata. The reason here being is that Josuke's name has the characters for Touhou in it. For Higashikata and... Wait, really? Although personality-wise, he could be seen as more similar to Marissa. Wait, you're telling me the kanji for Higashikata is the same as the kanji for Touhou? No fucking way. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's crazy. I had no idea. Right there. Right there. It's right there, dude. It's been there the whole time. Bro, that's a fun fact not attributed to any character. That's funny. That's funny. I didn't know that. I legitimately didn't know that. That's sick. Speaking of sick, I'm gonna go gorge on spaghetti. I have returned from spaghetti. I'm almost done. I am almost done. Silent Reimu. Solano Amagumo has made a comic series most centered around Reimu with a few major changes. He's a silent, kind, adorable girl. A contrast to the more common surly Reimus out there. The rendition is pretty popular on both sides of the fandom. I have no idea who that is. Paw prints. When her artwork for Wily Beast and Weakest Creature was revealed, a meme started centered around paw prints on her dress and how exactly they got there. Most of the time, it's assumed that a cat or some other type of animal stepped on her while she wasn't looking. I've seen art of that, yes. People have read that doujin. Is it good? I've never heard of it, but it sounds like my kind of doujin. As long as it's, you know, not bad. It's a good doujin? Okay, alright. Alright. I will probably check it out in the future. Alright, Marissa. Despite her self-indulgent personality and lack of concern for others are most likely due to these things, Marissa happens to be one of the most popular characters within the fan base. Winning the Touhou popularity contest of 2004, 2005, and 2023. Damn, she's so consistent. She appears to be an icon for the Touhou project, who appears in many fan games, mostly as a playable character or a boss or another fan-made anime or artwork. Relationshipping. Marissa has a tremendous amount of fan pairings and may sometimes seduce them. This is my favorite part. This right here, tremendous amount of fan pairings. I can safely say that the only fan pairings that actually have any real fucking merit to them, behind them, is Reimu and Alice. I'm not joking. Do you know how many hits Reimari gets? Reimari gets like 16,000 hits on Pixiv. Mari Ari gets like 8,000. Do you know how many Pachi Mari gets? 800. 800 tagged for that. Do you know how many fucking Marissa and Itori get? Not many at all. Flandre? No. Renosuke? Not as much, but that's probably due to Renosuke. But yes, tremendous amount of fan pairings. Alice has more. The most popular pairings are Reimu Marissa and Marissa and Alice. So she is part of the two most popular shippings, but the rest of her ships are a drop in the bucket. They're a drop in the bucket. Sakuya has a few. Alice, I think, has the most, though. Alice might have the most, like, the most ships that have a decent amount of traction behind them. She has obviously she has the one with Marissa. There was Alice Reimu early on. Alice Yuka. Alice Sakuya. Everybody loves Alice, dude. I love Alice, don't you? We all love Alice. But the thing is, I'm not saying that they don't exist as a ship. I'm saying that the amount of hits they get is actually kind of minuscule comparatively. The fact that Marissa and Pachi only hits 800, despite it being like a ship that happened before Alice existed, is kind of fantastical to me. It doesn't even crack 1,000 on the tag. Now, I know not everybody uses the tag, but that's still 10 times less than Marissa and Alice. That's a gargantuan number, even if you take in the margin of error of not tagging properly. He despises Patchouli. Is that what I said? Is that what you heard? Did you stick your finger in your ear and only use one ear to listen to me? It's weird to me because Alice and Yuka and Alice and Sakuya both hit over 1,000, which, like, but I've never really seen that pairing ever. But those are one of those two are in the smaller subsection of shipping that hits a large degree. Of course, I'm not talking about Western purely. I'm talking more Japanese because I was using Pixiv tags as my identifier. But, you know, I made an hour-long shipping video, and I got a bunch of comments about how I didn't talk about ship 1, 2, or 3. Because a fucking hour of it wasn't long enough. Apparently, I missed your favorite ship. I gotta go back and do... Oh, I'm surprised you didn't talk about this one. Oh, streamer, why do you talk about Junko and Hikatia? What the fuck do you want me to say? Oh, she hates the moon, and she hates the moon. So they paired up and performed a plot to fuck the moon. But what do you want me to say? What? Their hits aren't that high. Alright? I looked at every pairing I could think of. Every one of them. And some of them just did not have hits. Suwako and Kaneko. They're not as popular as you think. Oh, but streamer, they have to be because they lived together and they had a fight. Congratulations. Good for them. Lived together and had a fight. Is that all it takes to fuck people nowadays? I hope not. I really hope not. Anyway, I'm a little sour. Maybe a little bit. Told you, man, I spent a fucking month on that video. And some of the comments I get are just, where's my ship, streamer? Fuck your ship. Your ship's garbage. That's why I didn't talk about it. How's that sound? Anyway, I just had to grab my mic and bend my thumb, and that fucking hurt. So, I'm gonna mute and eat some spaghetti and scream. Listen, there were a number of ships that I thought were a dead ringer for that video, and they just weren't anything at all. You know how surprised I was when I searched Patchy Marissa and I got 800 hits? I was like, what? Like, isn't this one of the most prominent ships? Like, this has been around since 2002, these characters. But nope. Nope. And I mentioned Nitori as well in the video simply because she was barely anything as well. I found one fucking Dojin of that pair. One. Do you know how many Dojins there were for Alice and Marissa? At least 8 fucking pages. Nitori had one Dojin. One! Bro. One Dojin. Crazy. Alright. I didn't check the Zorn. Bro, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Come on now. Come on now. Alright. Where was I? I forgot where I was. Right. Sometimes seduce them, mostly with other popular characters. Yeah. Sometimes she's the center of a group where the cause of her fights has been caused some dislike from Marissa and the fan base. Due to canon, there's a tendency for her to be treated as an intrusion in fandom. What does that even mean? At the time of the video, Marissa's Older Precious thing became popular as the Marissa and Alice pairing meme. Many related videos were made, and among them were severe memes that tended towards perverted actions. However, due to adverse reactions in passage of time, they somewhat decreased in popularity. But that's more of something for Alice's page, because Alice got the short end of that stick. She got the short end of that stick, that's for sure. JoJo's. Due to Marissa's affinity with stars, fans sometimes parody her by crossing her over with Jotaro Kujo of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Thanks for specifying. Although it's much lesser extent than of Sakuya or Yomu. Oh, right. There's this belief that Yomu is like Silver Chariot, because she's got like a silver alt in the fighting games. And Sakuya, you can't even say anything about Sakuya. But yeah, Yomu being like a Silver Chariot references, I don't really buy that. Different swords. There seems to be a result of Jotaro standing being called Star Platinum, along with Zun's rather heavy amount of references to that series already. Marissa in some works even quotes Jotaro's catchphrase, yada yada daze, the Ze description. Due to her popular use of Ze in her speech style, many fans tend to frequently or always add Ze exclusively at the end of her dialogue, which is very unnatural. Putting Ze at any speech is regardless, even if it breaks the grammar. Example, what's this Ze? None does say. So also use they to mean yes, and ought to be stylistically written with a star, tilde, for emphasis, or capitalized Latin letters to make ze. Some fans take this as intentionally acting, paradoxically seeing a girlish expression underneath it. Since most girls don't speak in this manner normally, became notable unofficial characteristic for her. Similarly, many fans in the English community put ze or daze at the end of her lines too, even if it's grammatically incorrect and doesn't make any sense. Although she speaks of masculinity, she's never seen using ore, used by males. In regard to this, some fans who aren't careful with canon details make Marissa use ore in their fan works and end up getting criticized. See, that's a hard one. There are different ways to address yourself. There's different ways to address yourself. Ore is something I think used by like Momoyo. We know Chirno uses atai, which is very childish. There's boku, which is usually used for like younger. There's watakshi, which is, I'm pretty sure that's usually for like stuck-up characters. There's a whole different kinds of ways to refer to oneself. I hate boku, personally. I hate boku. Boku is my least favorite because every character who uses Boku is usually, I want to kick them, okay? I want to kick them. Kick them down some stairs. Alright, where am I? Lux Crown Guard reference. In the Western multiplayer game League of Legends, there's a character named Lux Crown Guard who has a number of possible references to Marissa. Ow! Such as having an ultimate spell card called Final Bottle Spark. In the lore of the game, Lux is also known to have copied and used the spell Dark Binding from Morgana, another character in the game. She also has a skin that resembles a cross between Mima and Marissa. In one of her voice-over lines, she states, "Light Mage, I'm just an ordinary mage," which may also be a reference. Additionally, her designer, Shirelia, is known to be a Touhou fan. Wow! Yeah, there was a Wriggle lantern in League of Legends, yeah. League of Legends had more than one Touhou reference. That's pretty cool. That was back when League was cool, right? Right, guys? Right? Can I get a so true with my spaghetti? I'm back. I'm almost done. I'm almost done eating my spaghetti. It's gotten kind of cold though. Happens. Happens. Super Marissa. Due to her love of mushrooms, the lack of flying without her broom, and the similarities in names, she has been compared to Mario from the Super Mario series. Due to this, she has been given the role of the main character of works such as Super Marissa World, New Super Marissa World. I can't believe that Marissa would star in a game called Super Marissa World. Unfucking believable. Where she'll have extreme similarities in gameplay and style to Mario. This extends to other features Mario has shown throughout his franchise, even to the extent of other characters in Touhou. Also, recently, Westerners are calling the latest game, Urban Legend in Limbo, Marissa's Mansion. What the fuck? What? The latest game. The latest game. Oh my god. The latest game, Urban Legend in Limbo, 14.5, Marissa's Mansion. Oh, man. That was like 2015 or 16, chat. That was almost 10 years ago. New Super Marissa Land has spawned a new variation, Invincible Marissa, a version of Marissa notably more feminine in dress and more adult in stature, taller and far curvier than normal, and implied to be quite powerful, though this version shows up in other fan works more of the fan service or comedic reasons than combat. Non-standard English translations. I love that term, non-standard. Japanese dialogue associated to Marissa that may be written formally tend to be a bit slangy and informal when translated into English, or in other words, a non-standard English. Take examples such as using the contraction ain't. There isn't anything, ain't nothing too big or too ornery for you to catch. The gerund spelt in rather than ing in other colloquial speeches like gonna, you know, or wanna. Various informal vocabulary and idiots would be used, as well as I dialect or phonetic spellings that can extend specifically to American or British English, way of speaking and writing. Sometimes to show her level of formality, even when in situations in fan work sometimes official, are shown to be strictly formal. Marissa will still speak in non-standard English anyway. It's kind of rare to see other characters use strong informality as Marissa does in English, so this is probably to try and reflect her general personality, as she's known to be informal with everyone. She also relates to use of her they. Sometimes, however, Marissa's dialogue and fanworks are shown to be the complete opposite, to the extent that she shows high intelligence and vocabulary. Ain't ever seen it. Which means it's never happened. Antagonist. Marissa is rarely depicted as the antagonist of some fanworks, where she may have no feelings for many characters. She's also depicted as a serious thief in many fanworks due to her burglary in canon, nicking anything ranging from the Scarlet Devil Mansion Library, Alice's Dolls, and the Hakude Shrine's offertory box. Without waiting or turning back, she'd use a wide Master Spark to blow apart the door, saying, "I'll borrow till death's day," then taking things away right from in front of the person, threatening violence when detected. Often, however, the victim isn't bothered about this cause. I don't know who wrote that, but I would love to see some doujin where she literally does that. She master sparks your door down and just takes it, and you're just like, oh, you! And they just let her go. Oh, man. Miscellaneous. Handsome, just like the streamer. Since she has a manly speaking style, she typically fitted into the male role for Japanese fans. Is sometimes depicted as handsome in a male form. One extreme example of Marisa being masculine would be the muscular Cho Marisa. This has been compared to Renosuke Morichika's Manosuke, the black-white, as Rainbow is often referred to as red-white or the red-white. Fans frequently call Marisa the black-white or white-black in parallel. No one calls her that. Jessica Ushiromiya's cosplay. In the visual novel Umineko no Nakoro Koro ni, Jessica Ushiromiya performs at a concert dressed as Marisa. In episode 6 of the anime, her friends are also shown dressed as Sakuya Izayoi, Aya Shamemaru, and Alice Murgatroyd. Additionally, in the fighting game spin-off Ougen Muso Kyoko, Jessica's Meta Super has her shoot a beam similar to the Master Spark while wearing her Marisa costume. Touhou Hijack LOL. Marisa is the character pictured in the original Touhou Hijack image. A 4chan meme involving disrupting discussions in a thread by announcing a hijack with the image and then posting large amounts of Touhou fan art. Wow, people were just obnoxious about everything at every point in the year, huh? Yep, I'm taking this thread for my new obsession. All right, now you get your own thread. All right, and that happened like 3 times. It happened to Touhou, it happened to Bronies, and it's happening to VTubers now. All right? We're still living in it. We're living in this world. That's how it is on this bastard of an earth. Alright. Oofufu. Marisa's laugh, oofu, 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 foo, foo, from Phantasmagoria of Dim Dream is a well-known laugh that Marisa's been portrayed to say all the time. This is usually used on her appearance with red hair for the PC98 game, Story Beast Wonderland. Jealous of Reimu. In more serious fan works, Marisa is often depicted as being secretly jealous of Reimu. Frustrated that the shrine made him waste her full potential but not training and still managed to be stronger than Marisa herself, who needs to train heavily to have any power at all. That's kind of canon in PC98, though. In her omakes, I believe it states that she is friends with Reimu, but she is kind of frustrated that Reimu can just be like Reimu without having to do putting in as nearly as much work as Marisa does. But the inferiority complex angle is a thing that can be done for Marisa. Possible speaking style origin. Since Chieri Kita Shirakawa was one possible source of Marisa's speaking style, there's a theory that Marisa fully picked it up from Chieri. Just stole her accent. Yin Yang Orb. Since the Yin Yang Orb is used by Reimu Hakude, it can be said that it's an incredibly popular item to the point where it features as an icon for the Touhou project, appearing in many fan games and artworks along with Reimu. For some reason, many fans mistook the little fairy and highly responsive to prayers for a reincarnation of Sariel. Please fully note that this is speculation. There's no evidence to back this up. I know what it's talking about. And the good ending for the Makai route has the Yin Yang Orb turn into a little creature. And you can see Reimu, like, thinking of her wishes. She's like, cake and money, I think. And then she's like, the world exploding. And the fairy's like, what the who the fuck would wish for that? Some fans believe the orb's eat sweets and not get fat power is the reason for Reimu's small hitbox. Okay, that's the first I've heard that, but that's funny. That's a funny fucking reason if I've ever heard one. Due to her seemingly normal football that's used in the fan game Touhou Soccer Mushoden taking ridiculous amounts of punishment, it's theorized that the football is in fact the Yin Yang Orb. Hakude God. Popular theories on the Hakude God's identity include Mima, the dragon god, Yukari Yakumo, and Gensokyo itself. Yukari Yakumo, huh? Alright. Phantasmagoria of Dim Dream. Whoa. But first, I must eat my more spaghetti. Let me finish my spaghetti. I'll be right back. And with that, I have finished my spaghetti. You know, chat, seeing that emote, let me tell you. My least favorite fanon component to Yukari is the idea that she can't be cute. I hate that. Yukari tries to be cute and everybody just looks at her with disgust. It's not right, man. It's not right. It's not fair. Only her. Only her. It's bullshit. Shinky can do it. Shinky can just exist and she's the cutest motherfucker on the planet. But Yukari does anything and it's just, they look at her with disgust. They look at her with disgust. Alright. Here we are. Rikako Asakura. Looks similar to Rika. Yeah. Due to her interest in science, she is commonly depicted alongside Yumemi Okazaki and rarely Nitori Kawashiro. Kana Anna Battle. She's often portrayed in fan works holding a stop sign, and this is due to Zun's statement about originally drawing her with what before her debut. Now, you know what's funny about that is that that's true and false. So, there's the music room comment. It's a music comment that Zun wrote for Kana's theme, and he stated how when he like drew her, he pictured a Western girl destroying things with a big street sign. So, Zun didn't specify the type of sign, but stop sign was the popular choice, and stop sign is the one that stuck. So, she carries around a stop sign in a lot of fan works. But Zun never actually gave a specific sign. So that's why there's some fan art you can see where there's like yield signs or other kinds of signs. But usually it's the stop sign that you see, because I guess it's just the simplest. Kotohime. She's sometimes depicted wielding a jit. A what? A jit. An enforcement weapon from the Edo period of Japan, though her image of a police officer is much more modern by Gensokyo standards. Chiyuri Kita Shirakawa. Because of her close and receiving end of the relationship to Yomemi Okazaki and possibly her blonde hair, she's depicted as Sunohara from Clannad. So if you're wondering what that's about, Clannad stars Tomoya Okazaki as the main character, and the comic relief friend character is Yohei Sunohara. So there's actually a piece of fan art of Chiyuri and Okazaki done in the same vein as the final CG in the Sunohara route, and I don't have it on hand, but it's great. So yeah, I've seen that before and I was like, oh, that's funny. So yeah, there's a Clannad comparison there because of Yumemi's name and their relationship. Due to most of the endings of Phantasmagoria didn't dream involving her striking Yumemi with a folding chair, Chiyuri is often depicted with them in fan works, notably in the fan game Touhou Soccer Mushuden. Well, yeah. Yumemi Okazaki. Even though Yumemi's sprite shows her having long hair tied in a single braid, she is more commonly drawn with short, shoulder-length hair. Due to the shape of her Danmaku, it became a minor meme in fan art to portray her wielding a weapon that looks like a Punisher, a crucifix-shaped weapon from the manga Trigun, most famously used by Nicholas D. Wolfwood. When Double Dealing character was first announced, some fans speculated that Sekibanki was Yumemi due to seeing only a small screenshot of her when revealed. Due to her theme name being Strawberry Crisis, she's often seen with them or of having them as her favorite food. Don't mind me. Yumemi is sometimes associated with darkness or portrayed with an antagonistic personality. What do you mean, darkness? How popular was Touhou Soccer? I don't know for sure how popular it was, but Touhou Soccer Mushuden is definitely a Touhou fan game that survived the test of time, I would say. Game had great fucking cinematics. Great cinematics for its time. Fun game, silly game. It's a really... I mean, it's a mess of a game, but it's a great game. I have no idea how popular it was, but it's one of those fan games that when people talk about the golden age of Touhou, it's usually in the conversation. I usually think of Touhouvania first and foremost, but Touhou Soccer Mushouden is around the same time frame, and it is one of those 2009 legendary fan games for sure. Because of her former occupation as a physics professor in what may be the outside world, she and Shiori are sometimes depicted knowing characters who are native to the outside world, like Snai or the Secret Sailing Club. You know what I like about that? Is there's the idea that, hey, we're both from the outside world, so obviously we would know each other. Isn't that funny? Like, oh yeah, Snai and Yumemi are both from the outside world, so obviously they would know each other, right? Yeah. That's how that works. That is definitely how that works. Where was I? She is sometimes referred to as the hardest final boss in any official Touhou game by some Western fans. This is particularly backed up by her infinite timer, which doesn't allow her to get hit unless the player gets hit first, except when she gets totally overwhelmed. So that is actually partially true, but it's not written right. So this says that, it says it doesn't allow her to get hit unless the player gets hit first. And no, it's not that, it's not about the player getting hit first, it's about she cannot get hit. She will not get hit in the first round, period, unless she is put in a position where she cannot actually dodge it. Her AI is a cheater, and it does that in every difficulty. Assuming you didn't use a continue. This is yeah, this is a real thing. It's on player's death. That's no longer the first round then. That's the second round. This says hit first. When you take a hit, it doesn't end her timer. Her timer ends when you finish the first round. Unless you use the continue, which apparently using a continue gives her an actual timer, but I didn't see that information like actually documented. Either way, she's a cheater. Mimi-chan. Some fans draw Mimi-chan together with Rukoto because they're both machines made by the same creator. Puppet Dance Performance has them together. Mimi-chan has been depicted having a character riding on top of her. It's because of Marissa, who first wrote her, and because Mimi was ridden in the original manga as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mimi-chan is another one of those characters just straight up ripped from a manga. And Rukoto is basically Multi from Touhou as well. I mean, she, like, Multi actually appears in the ending, and then Yumemi gets slapped for it, and then Rukoto appears, who is basically Multi. But there's also Ellen in the game. So, and if you actually look at PC98, a lot of PC98 is just Zun, like, referencing stuff that he liked. He references a lot of manga that he read when he was, like, a kid or something. And it's manga that I have no idea how to read. I have no idea what the fuck Ellen is from. I've never found it on the internet. PC98 is on a thief. Sweetie, it's called Inspiration. I was so inspired to put my pen over your drawing and see where it took me. What's so wrong with that? Now, PC98 is a glorious mess. It's a glorious mess. And I have a feeling that a lot of the issues with bringing PC98 back has to do with how many things in PC98 are just like direct references to other things that exist. This Touhou is more like, I guess I wouldn't say serious, but it's definitely not the same as it was back in 1997. Alright. Touhou 4. Bewitching Lotus Flower. The Bewitching Lotus Flower, thought to possibly be a flower that turned into a yokai and not just a flower. Great. Some fans believe that it was controlled by Yuka Kazumi, with the evidence that Mugenkan is located within the mountain and that Yuka is seen with lotus flowers as her bullets in Mystic Square. Some fans compare it with the Pokemon Diglett due to the red dots on the ground. Okay. Brother, it's just a vegetable. No! No, it's more than a vegetable. It's very important. It could be a Diglett, dude. It's a Diglett! Orange. Some fans say that Orange and Hong Mei Ling may be the same person. Mei Ling is stated in Perfect Memento in strict sense to be an extremely human-like yokai to the point where it's possible to mistake her for a human. And Orange herself tries to pass herself off as a human to Reimu. Mei Ling also tries to pass herself off to Reimu Marissa as just a normal person, an embodiment of Scarlet Devil. Also, Marissa's battles with both Mei Ling and Orange has Marissa commenting, "You're in my way." Orange is Mei Ling, that's my favorite theory. Honestly, as far as PC98 theories go, it's not exactly intrusive, but she does get her ass kicked instantly in PC98, so you gotta wonder how they could be the same character. Orange. Kurumi. Kurumi is mostly known to be seen with Ellie and Yuka in fanart and Dojin. She's sometimes compared to Ramilia and Flandre. She may also be depicted with Rumia, most commonly in MMD videos, likely due to their similar color schemes and names. Has anyone ever seen that before? Just wondering. Anyone ever seen a Rumia and Krumia combination play? Because I haven't. Dark Mirror. Whatever the Dark Mirror is really classed as a character and just another object can be debatable, but various Japanese websites such as Pixiv and Nicopedia insist that it is a character. It's occasionally compared with Kurumi and the Spirit Mirror, along with the other PC98 characters. So the Dark Mirror is questionably a character, but then we're going to immediately compare it to a character named Spirit Mirror, and that one's just fine? That one's just okay? Alright. Alright. Ellie. Bad Apple PV. Ever since the release of the Bad Apple video by Shadow Art, which is a remix of Lotus Land Story Stage 3 theme Bat Apple, Ellie had quite notably grown in popularity, did she? Gaining fans who are technologically incapable of playing the game she's in. There are also those who don't have a clue who Ellie is when they see her near the end of the video. Because of this video, a number of Touhou fans will sometimes get confused whether or not Bad Apple is Ellie's theme. So true. So true. Miscellaneous. She is notorious for her rage-inducing boomerang scythe. Some fans joke about Ellie chucking random tiles at random characters. Some people say that she is based on the Grim Reaper due to the scythe. She may in fact be based on Anko, the Breton personification of death, who is said to wear a robe and a large hat. Okay. Hikariko. Hikariko is often compared to other mid-boss characters such as Norioko or Matenshi. Sorry, leave die out of it. Her species is thought to be a fairy. Due to this, she is sometimes called the nameless mid-boss fairy by Western fans. Some fans speculate that the 4th stage mid-boss of Lotus Land Story isn't the same character as the 3rd stage mid-boss of Mystic Square. Some would even say that they are twins. That's interesting. Okay, so if you didn't know, this particular fairy shows up in the game multiple times. I never really thought of the idea that there could be 2 of them, instead of just one coming back for round 2. Because Matenshi shows up twice as well. One, the first time it drops a bomb, the second time it drops a life. Is it the same character? Or is there 2 Matenshis? Are there multiple Matenshis? I don't know. That's his name, Matenshi. That's his name. It's the blue angel in Story of East and Wonderland Stage 4. It shows up twice. Is it 2 or is it just 1 that comes back for round 2? That's the question. Yuka Kazumi, original Master Spark. Yuka is thought to be the original user of the spell card Master Spark, which Marissa Kirisame subsequently copied due to her using a very similar beam attack in her Lotus Land Story boss fight. Yuka is also known for what is commonly referred to as the Dual Spark, 2 slightly smaller beams fired simultaneously, which she makes a clone of herself during Lotus Land Story. Yukarin. Similar to how Yukari is called Yukarin, Yuka is commonly called Yukarin. This distinction can be lost in English if her name is spelled as Yuka, as in Yukarin, instead of Yuka, as in Yukarin. By the way, if you didn't know, Yuka's name can be spelled with 2 U's or 1 U, and I'm pretty sure in Japanese, when they spell it in English, they use 1. They use 1 U, but for some reason we use 2. I don't really know why that is. I actually don't know why that is. But yes, we call Yuka Y-U-U-K-A. Most people do that over here. But if you were to if you call a Yuka with English over, like in Japan, you would probably use Y-U-K-A. You wouldn't do the double U. Well, I know there's that O. There's the O-U and the O. So like Kyoko, for example, is we do the O-U, we do K-Y-O-U-K-O. But you can do it as Kyoko with K-Y-O with like an accent above it, and then K-O. Okay, they put the, yeah. See, that's made sense to me, but that little U is not present in her credits. That little U is not present in her Mystic Square all-cast credit. It's just Yuka spelled Y-U-K-A. I don't know Japanese, though, so I can't help you there. Yugi is similar, by the way. Yugi is similar. Ultimate sadistic creature. Many fans in Japan refer to Yuka as the ultimate sadistic creature, or USC for short, often portrayed as being dominant over Alice Margatroyd, Wriggle Nightbug, or Tenshi Hinanai. Yuka's conversation with Eiki Shiki Yamazanu, where Yuka admits she likes to tease others daily, is sometimes used to speculate that she may be a sadist. In other fan works, Yuka is portrayed as an insane and bloodthirsty yokai who kills with a pleasant smile on her face. Thus, she is commonly called a DOS, where Do stands for Dreadnought class and S stands for sadist. However, she's also sometimes portrayed as having a soft side, in which case some people joke that the S stands for Shinsetsu instead, which means kindness or gentleness. That's better. I like that better. I like that one better. Happy, fun, lovely Yuka. Though pairings with Wriggle are due to the bee flower dynamic. Low speed. Yuka's very low speed, focused and normal in Phantasmagoria Flower View, has become a small running meme among fans. There's even a comic in which Aya Shimemiru teases Yuka with speed over power while flying circles around her, with Yuka blasting away to no avail. This even applies to her performance in fan games such as Touhou Puppet Play and Touhou Mother, in which she has very low speed but high power. Everything is a flower. Some fanworks depict Yuka as having the ability to make anything flower in a metaphorical sense, unlocking its maximum power, beauty, etc. This is usually extended to Yuka herself being at the peak of power for a yokai of her type. Yokai Moe. While it was Zun that coined the term, fans ran with fan art showing Yuka in states of loveliness and or moe due to various factors, and show her with quite a soft, if not motherly side to other characters. Identity. Yuka is often theorized to be the mysterious orb, an undefined fantastic object, due to similarities because she turned into a ball of light during her fights in Lotus Land story. She also appears in the fantasy world, and both that world and the unnamed dream world can easily be speculated to be the same world. However, for New Huju to be speculated as the mysterious ball is a more popular alternative. Alright, so allow me to explain that for a second, because this actually threw me off. So, Yuka's mansion is located in Mugenkan. We know the name of the world, it's Mugenkan. But do you know how the extra stage happens in Lotus Land story? You just start the stage as Reimu or Marissa, and you're in a different world. And then you reach the boss, and Mugetsu shows up, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And the main character is like, that, like, there's no explanation at all to the extra stage in Lotus Land story. The thing is, in Lotus Land story, there is a mid-boss section where you have to survive a ball of light. And Yuka can turn into a ball of light in the game. And the ball of light also uses the same Danmaku that Yuka uses. The only other character who uses that Danmaku is Mugetsu, and maybe Gengetsu as well. But Yuka's the only one at that point in the game who could use it. So it's pretty likely that ball of light that shows up in the extra stage is Yuka, even if she doesn't name herself. But there's also the weird distinction that it's an unknown fantasy world. Like, the Mugenkan is what it is, and then there's the unnamed fantasy world that Mugetsu created. And there's nothing that says that they're the same world, but the fact that Yuka exists there in that as that ball of light could imply that it is. And I think most fans run with that. Like in Puppet Dance Performance, for example, spoiler by the way, you go to Mugenkon and like you beat Shinki and then you learn the truth. You go to Mugenkon, you go to the mansion, and then out back in the mansion you fight Mugetsu and Gengetsu, and they're at the end of the Mugenkon. It's the same area, which I think that's why people run with it, because it's a lot easier to turn that world into one great thing instead of making a random separate world for Mugetsu and Gengetsu. However, Gengetsu and Mugetsu are also characters that have like virtually no information on them at all. They have about as much information as a stage 1 boss does, because there's no build-up or explanation to their extra stage. That you literally just show up, Mugetsu says, "Why are you in my world?" And then they're like, "Oh, I don't know." And she's like, "Okay, it's just me and my older twin sister here. Anyway, let's fight." And then you beat her, and she's like, "Alright, you can deal with my sister now." And then Gengetsu shows up, and she's like, "Alright, I don't know what's going on, but I guess I just gotta beat you up." And that's it. That's it. That's it. See, that's the weird thing. The weird thing is that the extra stages pretty much always follow off of the main game. I said before that Touhou 2's extra stage is more of a what if scenario, but I actually take that back. So the extra stage in Story Beast in Wonderland is following Rika, but it's not a what if scenario. What it is after Reimu like finishes her job and she unlocks the power of the Yin Yang Orb, she goes back and then follows Rika, and then she comes face to face with Evil Eye Sigma, because they reference the fact that if she had followed them, if she followed Rika originally, then she would have been the stage 2 boss, which also implies that, you know, stage 2 had happened with that 4th wall break. So that is an after scenario extra stage. But the stage 4, the Lotus Land Stories extra stage makes no sense. It just happens and then it's over. There's no explanation to it. There's nothing at all. There's nothing alluding to it at all. You just start the extra stage, you're in this weird world, you fight these bosses, and then the stage ends. That's it. No continuation of the story, no mention of previous characters, no mention of the incident at all. Just that. Yeah, Mystic Squares, you go back. I don't remember exactly what it is, but you end up going back and Alice is like, "I want to get my revenge on you. I have this ultimate magic book." And she reads the book and she plays the best song from PC98. But yeah, the extra stages are always continuations of main stories, but Lotus Land Story is not. It's just an extra stage. No, it's not. It can't be. It can't be, because the extra stage always happens after the credits. Remember, in UFO, one of Marissa's endings in UFO actually straight up leads to the extra stage. One of the endings in Great Fairy Wars straight up leads to the extra stage. So the extra stage always happens after the ending. So Lotus Land Story's extra stage can't happen before the ending. It has to happen after it, but there's still no explanation to it at all. The main character has no explanation. They're just there. They just end up there. Nobody knows why they're there. Not even them. Yeah, EOSD's extra stage goes like this. Reimu shows up. She beats up Remilia. And Flandre hears about it. Now Flandre is getting active. So they go back and Patchy's like, "This is not a good time." I like to believe that... Because it's dubious the canonicity of who did what in which game. But for EOSD specifically, I like to believe that both Reimu set out, beat up Remilia, Patchy learned about it, Marissa learned about it, or Marissa tailed and ended up in the basement or something. Because either way, Marissa learns about the library and she wants to go, do her little Marissa thing. But Marissa's the one who goes back for the extra stage and bumps into Marissa. And bumps into Flandre, and then they fight as a result. So that's why Marissa and Flan is to, like, Remilia and Reimu. She even introduces herself as Reimu when they first meet, but Flandre knows it's not true. But again, like I said, there's not really any canonicity to who did what, because sometimes things happen in a game that every character is like they did and it's considered canon, and sometimes things happen that don't matter. So like who saved Byakuren, right? Which one of the 3 characters of UFO actually went to Makai and freed Byakuren? Does anybody know? Because you want to believe it's Marissa, because one of Marissa's endings directly leads into the extra stage where you fight Nue. So that would make sense that Marissa is the one who actually resolved the main plot, right? But is that true? Is that 100% true? This is what I mean by it gets confusing. Every character simultaneously solves the incident and also doesn't. 16 all routes are canon, yes. They take place at different times, and they all lead to the extra stage, but those all do happen. Wow, streamer, you are just yapping and getting so distracted. So distracted. You're not even at a PC 98 yet, you dummy. It's been an hour and a half. This fucking guy. Well, I told you this was gonna be a stream you don't have to watch. You just listen. That's all. This whole stream is just me talking, though. There's no gameplay. Mysterious orb. The ball of light has been discussed in the fan base on who the ball actually is. One theory is the ball is in fact Yuka because she turned to a ball of light during her fights in Lotus Land story. She also appears in the fantasy world, and both that world and the unnamed dream world could easily be speculated to be the same world. However, the downsides of this is that her first orb appears larger, and her second orb is colored in red. Which could mean that she's got the capability of changing to different kinds of orbs. Yuka is a ball of light in stage 5, and Yuka is a ball of, Okay, so, by the way, the ball of light in stage 5 is the one that shows up in the extra stage, in case you were wondering. Where was I? However, a more popular theory is that this ball is actually New Huju, as she appeared as a ball of light, an undefined fantastic object, both dropping items when leaving the screen and giving a 1-up if certain conditions are met, as well as having no hitboxes. The fact that no one can know Nue's true form from makes this a possible case. A more stronger reason is that UFO had the idea to reference PC-98, hence the return of Makai. The downside is that the orbs are obviously different in appearance, and the canonicity between PC-98 and Windows comes into play. The former due to 16 color and animated limitations. Rainbow Hakurei once turned into a ball of light during the extra stage of Shuso Gyoko from the Seiho project, although obviously it isn't her. Icarus, also from the Seiho project, can also turn into a ball of light, but this one is highly unlikely due to its canon. I didn't know Reimu could turn into a ball. That's crazy. Gengetsu and Mugetsu. It's common to depict Gengetsu and Mugetsu together since they are sisters. They're even depicted with other characters from Lotus Land story, such as Yuka Kazumi, Ellie, or Kurumi, despite not showing any relations in the game. By the way, chat, do you know how many fucking characters in PC-98 are blonde? Did you know how many are blonde? You know in Lotus Land story, not counting the player characters, only Orange and Yuka aren't blonde. Kurumi, Ellie, Mugetsu, and Gengetsu. They're all blonde. It's just orange. It's just orange. And then in Mystic Square, you got Luis, you got Alice, you got Yuki, you got Yumeko. Also, this is kind of neat trivia, but there's only like 3 or 4 characters in PC-98 that have different colored eyes to their hair colors. Almost every character in PC-98 has an eye color that is the same as their hair color. The exceptions are Shingyoku's male form, who's got red eyes. Kongara, she has red eyes, and there was one other character whose eye color does not match their hair color, and I can't remember who that was. Marissa? No, Marissa does. Marissa has red eyes in PC-90 and Touhou 2, and she has yellow eyes in PC and Touhou 3 onward. Marissa's eye color does match her hair. It changed with her hair. Yeah, Marissa, Ellen, Kana, and Chieri for Touhou 3. Alright. Alright. Gengetsu is believed to be one of the hardest bosses in the entire series. You know, I've read that 3 fucking times now, which is sometimes combined with Mugetsu. Even Zun is referred to as the most terrible, most fearful boss in the music comments. Certain remarks are made before Mystic Square and the Windows games, but considering how bullets were harder to see in the PC-98 games and other player-unfriendly quirks, this claim may be uncontested. The optional timeout phase on her last attack pattern has been given the nickname Gengetsu Rape Time by Western players because of its extremely fast and very hard to dodge bullets. In some instances, the sisters have been shown with Nuhuju from Undefined Fantastic Object due to Nue being theorized to be an extra stage mid-boss mysterious orb. Yeah, you didn't know that, chat? You didn't know that? That pattern has a very unfortunate nickname because of how early it was, you know, the game came out in 1997, and, you know, Touhou was early 2000s, so it was a time where that was a word you threw around. That's all. That's all it is. You don't have to read too far into it. Pretty sure Kane's gonna be similar, because the cave meme. Being the maid she is, Mugetsu is usually depicted with other maid characters such as Yumeko and Sakuya. For some reason, fans depict Gengetsu with an insane and bloody personality. Many fans compare her with Flandre Scarlet for this fact, and some fan works are seen together, sometimes also with Mugetsu. However, Mugetsu is shown to be a more caring type of character. What kind of fan works would those be with those characters? I'm telling you, man, Mugetsu and Gengetsu have about as much characterization to them in-game as a character like Orange does. It's insane. It's fucking insane. They're extra bosses, for God's sakes. Anyway, chat, I'll be right back. So I just gotta use the facility. I'll be right back. Enjoy the music. I'm back. Is everybody being on their best behavior? Chat. So, this brace is... It's keeping my thumb, like... It's keeping it from moving around. But I gotta tell ya, taking it off there to go use the bathroom, fuck, that's tender. That is very tender. Alright, seal her back up. Okay. Alright. Alright. Yeah, I take it off. I can feel it. It's rough. Alrighty. Alright, guys. Alright. We're moving on to the next. Mystic Square. Wheel Demon! Despite the fact that the Wheel Demon looks just like a near stage enemy that resembles other demons, he is still treated to be as popular in fan art as other PC98 mid-bosses such as Noriko or Hikariko. I like how, chat, you know what's funny? Is that their names are just like something then girl. So Hikariko is just light girl. That's her name. Hikari is light, and then ko is the girl suffix. Norore, I believe, is curse. So she's just curse girl, and there's just curse girl and light girl. But she also compared to these mid-bosses, especially the Spirit Mirror. Spirit Mirror! Whether the Spirit Mirror is really classified as a character or just another object can be debatable, but various Japanese websites such as Pixiv and Nicopedia insisted a character to occasionally compare with Sarah and the Dark Mirror, along with the other PC98 characters. Luis! In fanworks, Luis is shown trying to escape Makai to get to Gensokyo. This also leads to fan art of her carrying her luggage. Alright. Alice Murgatroyd. Despite being mistreated often in fanworks, or perhaps due to this, Alice is one of the most popular characters in the Touhou project. She may appear as an icon for the Touhou project and has appeared in many fan games as an alternate playable character or a boss, along with being in music, albums, anime. Did you just copy and paste that from Marissa? I know you fucking did. While the most obvious and common pairing for Alice is her imperishable knight and subterranean animism teammate Marissa Kirisame, Alice has a tremendous amount of fan pairings and may sometimes seduce them. Why do you keep saying that? Mostly with other popular characters like Reimu, Patchouli, Sakuya. Alice Patchy is not a ship that is... Where's Yuka? Once summed up as a human-like yokai and a yokai-like human, she also has a surprisingly common pairing with Yuka. Oh, okay, they were just explaining. Okay, because, yeah, Sakuya Alice is one that's very strange to me because there's how little interaction they've had. But they're also, like, they're kind of similar in their vibe. It's nice. They have a nice vibe together. I think so, anyway. Who's Yuka, who's usually shown teasing or tormenting Alice, probably due to her PC98 appearance. No, there's a couple things. They complement each other's abilities in the fighting game. Alice leads Sakuya out of the forest. There's a couple little interactions they have that they seem to be on decent enough terms. I don't really think there's a reference with the killing doll. But, you know, most reasons people have for things aren't really, you know, they're not really in logic. That's all. Alright. At the time when the video Marissa stole the precious thing, popular meme-related videos spear memes towards pervert action due to this Alice shown to have crush on Marissa, but unable to express her feeling to the extent that she'll put her life at risk to save Marissa's. I like this Alice is shown to have a crush but unable to express her feelings because that is definitely true, but then there are other Marissas that exist. And they're not quite as shy. Characteristics. An imperishable knight's character settings text, since it is said she spends most of her time alone. Oh. It's easy to link it with the image that she surrounds herself with moving dolls, distracting her loneliness with dolls. In derivative works, this has sometimes been taken to the extreme, and she's sometimes portrayed as left out or bullied by other characters. Likewise, in fanworks, because of her perceived cold exterior and cowardly true persona, she's frequently depicted as a down-on-her-luck tsundere, which in other cases she's been depicted as a yandere, to which extent her personality becomes very complex for others to understand. On other fanworks, however, she's shown to have an antagonistic personality, going to the extent of getting her hands bloody and killing other characters filled with horror! However, she may just show to have hatred to others and only be with herself and sometimes Marissa. What the fuck was that line at the end? What the hell was that? What? She's mistreated and then suddenly she's a twisted psychopath. What the fuck? What the fuck? Connection with PC98. The Japanese nickname in PC Pixar tag with PC98 version of Alice is Lollice, a blend of Lolly plus Alice. This is due to the fact that she appears much younger in Mystic Square, which has become very common amongst the Japanese community. Comparisons are common between the PC98 and Windows version of Alice, often shown next to each other, or that the modern Alice may summon Lollice as a familiar in battle. That is such a stupid fucking name, chat. Because of Shinki's dialogue in Mystic Square, where she mentions that everything in Makai is her creation, it's thought that Alice is Shinki's daughter, although this definition would also extend to the other Makai residents. However, there's been no further mention of this since then, and Alice was once a human who became a yokai magician. It's unknown whether it was a retroactive change of continuity, merely a mistake by Hieda no Akio, or if fans were mistaken from the beginning when thinking Alice was Shinki's daughter. Since there's yet to be any official statement by Zun, this is merely speculation. I actually really like the Fantasy Maiden Wars explanation to it, because it combines all of it and also ties in the Alice in Wonderland aspect to it. Alice was a human girl who ended up in Makai and was taken in by Shinki and raised as her daughter. So she's the only thing in Makai that's not actually made by Shinki, but she still, she still treats Alice as if she was. And then Alice grows up, wants to become like her mother, and because she's living in Makai, she does end up becoming a yokai, and then she sets off to learn to be like her mother. I think Fantasy Maiden Wars explanation with Alice and Shinki's relationship is probably the best I've ever seen, and probably will continue to be the best I'll ever see. It's my favorite one for sure. Well, there's always this weird idea like that she was made in Makai, but then there's also the PC98, the Windows canon, which specifies that she was a human recently turned yokai. That's why Alice still eats and sleeps. Alice, you don't have to eat and sleep and as a yokai magician. I don't know if it's yokai or magician specifically, but Alice's transformation is new enough that she still has human tendencies like eating and sleeping. She still does them, but she doesn't have to anymore. That's why you never see Patchy sleeping. Patchy was born a witch. You never see her eating or sleeping because she doesn't have to. But Alice, you will see just partaking in things like that. There's shades of her humanity still within her. She sure sleeps a lot. Fuck you. Dude, fuck you, man. Fuck you. How could you say that? Alright, where am I? No, yokai can still sleep. I'm just specifying that they don't have to, but Alice specifically is specified to do it. And it's regarded as a trace of humanity. Remember, Alice is also a frequent customer of Aaron's good dream pill. The butterfly dream pill is a pill that Aaron made that always gives the user like good dreams. And Alice is a frequent customer to that pill for some reason. It's not explained what it is she wants to see with it, but she does frequently get that pill. And I like to believe it's so she can see her mother again. That's all. She dreams about I like to believe it's that she dreams about the time she spent in Makai, because those memories were precious to her, but she had to leave all that behind to come against Sokyo, and we'll never actually see anything happening in Makai ever again. So that's why she does it. But that's not true, because Shinki can just show up whenever she wants. I want Shinki to show up at Alice's house in a Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses, heart-shaped sunglasses, and beige khakis, and just go, "Oh my god, hi Alice!" And then Alice is like, what are you doing here? And she says she's on vacation, but she's dressed like there's a beach and there's no beach. Such a fucking dork. Oh, man. Okay, where am I? However, the modern Alice would be shown to go and revisit Makai, or for Shinki to go enter Gensoku to visit Alice, commonly shown as a mother-daughter relationship. There are many illustrations and videos that pay a tribute, with having a nostalgic feeling to Alice remembering the times of the PC-98, mainly remixed with both the Grimoire of Alice and Doll Judgment, the girl who played with people's shapes. Usage of dolls. Alice is often portrayed as having an obsession with dolls. In some doujin works, she is often depicted making or playing with dolls. Also widely assumed that she makes dolls or other characters for fun, such as putting on a puppet show with them. This might be somewhat official, as she at least made dolls representing the three fairies of light and using them to mock them in the strange and bright nature of deity. She also used them in some doujin, like voodoo dolls, in a more sadistic manner. Her dolls may also act independent and have abilities to talk without Alice's occurrence, in which she uses them as slave, which is somewhat official. She uses them in battle and may surround them nothing but dolls. There's one instance with a fan-made character, Maybell, that's Haniwa Store's character, playable in Gensou Mahjong, who is an independent doll that often shown to be her friend. She'll get angry with Marissa if she attempts to steal any of her other dolls. I like Maybell. She's a cute character. She kind of looks like Hina. By the way, back to the Fantasy Maiden Wars canon. The idea that Alice took an interest in dolls was because she was pursuing the same deal as her mother. Because remember, Shinki made all of the residents of Makai, and Alice is also trying to do something similar. She's trying to do something similar by making the fully autonomous doll, and that would put her one step closer to her mother's ability. So right now, she can control her dolls, because when you think about it in a certain way, everything Shinki makes is also considerable to be like a doll, but they're all fully like cognizant, living, breathing, sentient creatures. But Alice is only at the level of controlling dolls that she makes, and her dream is to make a doll that's fully autonomous. And Fantasy Maiden Wars explains it as a way to get closer to her understanding her mother's power. It's a good game with great writing. That's all I'll say about Fantasy Maiden Wars. It's a very fucking good game. Alright. Miscellaneous. Alice is also known to be coupled with Mobile Suit Gundam Zaku 2 model in some fanworks. What? The established coupling name is Zaku Alice is my justice. Zaku Ari ga ore no Zasitsu. It's become popular in a Touhou comic drawn by Koppo. What the fuck is this guy talking about? There have been comparisons between Alice and the XS Gundam. Why Gundam? Mainly the colors. It's Alice system, with the final goal having to pilot a suit on its own, and its incoms, which offer all range attacks. There's some fan art highlighting this. And you're not gonna link the fan art highlighting this? You're not gonna fucking link it? Alright. Yuki. She is mostly paired up with Mai in fanworks due to them being partners. You know how it really sucks about that word choice? Is that you could have used the word friend, but we all know how that relationship actually works. She's also depicted as being childish, but in a quiet and cute way. I mean, I don't think she's quiet. I think she's cute, but I don't think she's quiet. She gets pretty heated when you kill her friend. Sorry, partner. Mai has been depicted with Chirno on an occasion, perhaps due to their supposed shared ice affinity. Is that true? Has there ever been a piece of art ever featuring those two characters? She's also depicted as being a bitch. Ayana is sometimes compared to Medicine Melancholy and paired up with other PC-98 mid-bosses. None of you motherfuckers even know who Ayana is. I don't even know who Ayana is. It's the drill girl. I know who it is. Yumiko. Yumiko's mistress Shinki is compared to Satan. Oh. As a blade-throwing mage, maybe she and Yumiko were the first ideas for the Sakuya-Remilia pair. Alright, Shinki is Satan. A lovable, goofy, dork Satan. That's fine. A few Sakuya versus Yumiko artworks and memes can be found scattered about the internet. One of them being who has the better mistress, while other is Yumiko proudly declaring that she has no need to pat her chest, making Sakuya incredibly jealous. Do you think that actually exists? Do you think that actually exists? That fan art exists? Shinky. Shinky is one of the most popular PC98 only characters, possibly second only to Mima. Actually, is Shinky more popular than Mima on current popularity polls? I'm pretty sure top 3 PC98 characters is Shinky, Mima, Yumemi. Although I'm not sure about the order. I think it's those 3. I don't know who's higher. It's probably Mima, but I think Shinky is like pretty close to her. It's still Mima? Yuka doesn't count. She's in Windows, jackass. Like Mima, her fans hope she'll return in a future Windows game, and rumors of this often surround upcoming games. These hopes were toyed with an undefined fantastic object when it was revealed in Stage 4 the destination was Makai. However, the only hints of Shinky's existence were the colored fairies and Byakuren's spell card mention. So I read somewhere, chat, it might have even been coming up, actually, or in Byakuren's one, but I read that when Byakuren used Devil Recitation, some people were fucking mad about it. UFO was not a very well-received game at the time of its release. You know? It wasn't the most well-received game at the time of its release. And, yeah, doing a callback to such a beloved character like that made some people really fucking mad. But that happens to everything. What can you do, right? Some people thought it was cool. I think it's a cool reference, but I guess some people saw it as an insult. Oh, you went to Makai, and here's the new character, and she's using a Shinky attack, and Shinky's nowhere to be seen. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you, bro? Alice's mother. Because Shinky states that she created everything in Makai, there's a popular theory that Alice Margaloid is Shinky's daughter, with portrayals of Shinky and Alice Margarine often in a mother-daughter relationship. Most likely due to her young age at the time, since technically all of Makai's characters would be Shinky's daughters. Windows era Alice is sometimes shown going back to Makai to visit Shinky, or Shinky may leave Makai to see Alice. Since Hideno Aku states that Alice is a former human, these fanworks assume that either Aku is mistaken or Alice is adopted. Fuente is particularly infamous for portraying Alice and Shinky in a terribly dysfunctional relationship. I don't know who that is, but I already hate him. Relationship with Byakuren. Some fans speculate that Shinky has a relationship or acquaintance with Byakuren Hijiri as suggested in fan art, sometimes suggesting that Shinky taught Byakuren some of her attacks like the spell card. The resemblance between Byakuren and Shinky's Danmaku, see Shinky's article, could be explained by Shinky teaching her the pattern while she was in Makai. Okay. Miscellaneous. Due to her angelic and demonic elements, Shinky is sometimes considered to be a fallen angel. In particular, an analog to Lucifer or Satan, who was described as bright and beautiful, matching Shinky's name. Pandemonium, the capital of Makai, was the capital of Hell in Paradise Lost. Fans have interpreted her side ponytail as an ahoge, idiot hair, which influences fan portrayals. Very true. Very true. Her side ponytail, it gives her the idiot hair, which gives her, you know, that winning mom personality. Listen, when you're that fucking powerful, you can be a little silly, alright? You can be a little bit of a silly Billy. Unnamed Makai residence in Reimu's Ending in Mystic Square. Yeah, so if you didn't know, there's a couple weirdos who show up in Reimu's Ending. One of them has pink hair and a black and blue outfit. Japanese fans may use the term Makai person who appears in Reimu's Ending. Great name. Some Western fans, especially fans on DeviantArt, have referred to the fairy-looking character as Mika and to the devil-looking character as Senko. Yeah, but why? And why DeviantArt? Trump King. Fan art often shows the Trump King to either be a jack or a king with any form of suit. So you're telling me that the Trump King is depicted as a jack? I don't know, chat. That seems like it kind of seems like his name makes it pretty fucking clear what he's supposed to be. He's the Trump King. Ah, a jack. What? Huh? Why? Alright. Alright, chat. We did it. We beat PC98. Now, that's pretty good. But let's dip our toes into Windows with Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. And then we'll call it. I didn't think this would take more than one stream, but I also get distracted when I do stuff like this, so it drags on. But honestly, I like these streams because I can just yap about Touhou for 2 hours, and it's actually part of the stream. And you can't tell me to get back to the gameplay because there's no fucking gameplay. Fuck you. Rumia, EX Rumia. It's broadly rumored among fans that the amulet ribbon is some kind of seal. It's not rumored, it's confirmed. It's an Ofuda. It is a talisman. Just taking it off will release her true power. That part is speculation. In some dojins, the amulet ribbon is removed. Rumia develops an EX form, which she looks more mature, has wings, and wields a giant dark sword, usually a Stormbringer. Yeah, that sword is kind of consistent, and I'm not sure where the idea of it came from. Still pretty cool, though. So Nanoka! Her catchphrase in fanworks is So Nanoka, which is a pretty childish way of saying, is that so? Rumia first says this in embodiment of Scarlet Devil during Reimu's scenario. This is reflective of her childish and ditzy personality she's given in most fan art. Don't you like how that catchphrase, like, is just... That's what she's known for? That's just what she's known for? She said a line once. A completely harmless line, and it's like, that's her. That's Rumia. That's my fucking character. Team 9. In fanwork, she's often seen with other lower-level childish characters like Chirno, Mistia, Wriggle, and Daiose. Team 9 is a term used in the Western fan base. In the Japanese community, they, Chirno, Mistia, Rumia, Wriggle, are referred to as Bak Quartet, or Bakuretoto, Baka plus Quartet. So, okay, so Daiose gets left out in Japanese. But we call them Team 9 and we include Daiose because we always include our friend. Rumia Day! The 7th day of the month is known as Rumia Day among the fan base, and various artists are more likely to draw more fan arts involving her. That's because in Japan, the day is also called Nanoka. Oh, Nanoka! Man-eater. Because of her in-game dialogues and her being described as a man-eater in perfect memento and strict sense, she's often portrayed as a glutton that is extremely fond of meat, most notably humans and Mistia Lorelei. Rumia, Yukosai Yoji, and Yoshika Miyako are sometimes seen together and are known as the Hungry Trio in the Western fan base, although the rule that yokai should not hurt and kill human villagers are stated in recent works. This is old because Yuma is not mentioned. Yuma is not mentioned. Ruma's easy. You could just like slap her in the face with some steak and she'll probably leave you alone. Like any other character you gotta work. Rumia, you just slap her with meat and she'll leave you alone. The EX Rumia sword exists even the very first fan art of her, but the creator no less. So you mean that the first person to ever draw EX Rumia just gave her a cool sword and people were like, damn, that's cool, and they just continued to use that sword? Because that's pretty fucking awesome. That's pretty fucking awesome. I mean, isn't a Stormbringer... It's like a big paddle sword, isn't it? I guess I can just click it and see where it takes me. A Stormbringer. Moorcock. Michael Moorcock. What a fucking name you got there, buddy. What a fucking name you got there. Michael Moorcock. My god. I can't, bro. I can't. Alright. Alright. Daiose. Her name. Although Daiose merely refers to her enemy class as a great fairy, and she has no official name, fans use Daiose as her real name. Senior. In many fanworks, she's described as Chirno Senior. Usually they aren't related by blood. In these fictions, she is depicted as timid, shy, very kind, especially to Chirno, although still weaker to Chirno. Leader. She's sometimes regarded as the elder or leader of all the fairies living around the lake. Large chest. Many fanworks interpret big fairy or greater fairy as meaning having noticeably large breasts than other fairies, or just having large breasts in general. Big versus small. Some fan arts like to joke about how the big fairy is small and the little devil Kwakama is big. Dai-chan. As an abbreviation of Daiose, the affectionate name for her is Dai-chan. There's a capitalization issue there. Daiose. When she's taken to a darker personality and or is thought to have been unusually strong, she is sometimes called Daiose. This has been used to refer to her when she showed up in Fairy Wars. I don't think leader's the right word for it, but I I do think the idea of her being the most mature fairy at the lake means that most fairies, when they have problems, will come to her for solutions. So in a sense, she's a leader, but she's not really like a leader in this, like, you know, like she leads them like that, but more so she's just like the resident problem solver. So all the fairies look up to her because she's, you know, she's rational. She's great. And she's got a huge chest. Anyway, Cherno is quite a popular character in the Touhou project among fans because due to becoming a meme, Cherno is one of the most popular characters in Touhou. 15th from the top. Many fans portray her jokingly or seriously as a misunderstood child or even an outright genius in disguise, or as a bumbling idiot who messes up what everyone else is doing. This is mainly due to fandom making references to her in non-related topics. Right, she's top 10 this year, I forgot. 9. Due to the infamous manual screenshot, Cherno has been nicknamed Nine Ball or simply Nine. Cherno is known for her childishness, stupidity, so the term Cherno is often used instead of Baka as a joke in Japanese Touhou community. She's also sometimes associated with Nine Ball or the Seraph variation of Armored Core fame in various ways, such as a Cherno in its red-black colors for Mugen. It is famed because it's a difficult boss in any game it appears in. I have no idea what the fuck I just read at all, but that's okay. Cherno Day, the date 999, Wednesday, September 9th, 2009, 9th hour, the 9th minute of the 9th second, more specifically, has been named Cherno Day for obvious reasons. For some reason, numerous aspects of this day, everything could be translated into a connection with 9. For example, September 9th is the 252nd day of the year, and 2 plus 5 plus 2 equals 9. You need 9 letters to type Wednesday or September, and Japanese time zone is +9. Other names for this day include the strongest day and 9 day. What the fuck? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's insane. How did that happen? All planned, bro. All planned. Okay. Alright, Team 9. It's the same. Okay, however, in the Touhou Sengetsusei series, Cherno was seen playing with what presumably was Daiosei, and at another point, she is seen with the group excluding Daiosei during gatherings involving the three fairies of light. There's a number of cameos that Cherno actually makes where she's with Daiosei. But remember, cameos and stuff, those works are made by fans, and while they do have to pass a Zun check, I don't see why he would ever say no, so usually the fans end up doing that anyway. Like, you know, Cherno and Dai are friends, so the artist who is a fan of Touhou will draw them in a cameo, and they will be together. And what's Zun gonna do? Look at it and be like, no! Get this character out of here! This is not a real character. You can have Cherno and you cannot have Daiosei. Like, he's not gonna do something like that. So that's why Daiosei appears so much with Cherno. Alright, where was I? In canon, whether they knew each other or just coincidentally end up within the same gathering is unknown. Well, I don't think you need to read too much into it because, like I said, it's just fans putting cameos in. There's a couple fun cameos like that they get away with. They could just put a character in the shot without having to really explain it, and they get an opportunity to draw characters and participating in events without being integral to the story. And it's kind of nice that they do that. It's nice they do that. I'm the strongest. Cherno's catchphrase in Dojin works, I'm the strongest, comes from her dialogue in Phantasmagoria Flower View, in which she announces that in her scenario while being everyone else's stage 1 boss. She also says it when winning against herself in Phantasmagoria Flower View and Touhou Hiso Tensoku, in which case she says, when it comes to me, I am the strongest. In English, the phrase may sometimes be purposely corrupted in spelling. Example, I am the strongest, or I am te strangest. No one in the world has ever made her say that. Ever. Never. Never, 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 never. Letty. Another fan work she is shown with Letty Whiterock, who is considered as a close friend, guardian, or mentor. This is partly due to the fact that she appears as a mid-boss in Letty's stage in Perfect Cherry Blossom, partly because they share similar abilities, the manipulation of cold temperature and ice. Ironically, in her interview with Bohemian Archive of Japanese Red, Letty says that she doesn't want to be put on the same rank as Cherno. Now that information is correct, but it doesn't tell the whole story. That's all. Suako. Because Cherno enjoys freezing frogs, she's often depicted as rivals with Suako Moria due to the latter's affinity with frogs. Mai. Some fans have connected Chirno with PC98 character Mai due to their similar fairy-like appearances and their manipulation of ice. One of Chirno's pals in his utensil also resembles Mai. Is that true, chat? Is that true? Because the wiki also tries to tell me that one of Komachi's alts in his Tensoku is supposed to be Sarah. Because she's wearing pink, except Sarah wears red, not pink. So I think that's a bit of a stretch. Elemental variants. Various fans' versions of Chirno exist based on alternative elements, such as the fire-based Achi Chirno. The what? The lightning-based Ikazu Chirno and the water-based Mizu Chirno. I have never in my life heard of alternate element Chirnos. I've heard of Burno. Burno is the fire one. Mizu Chirno, that's just Chirno in the summer, dude. She just melts. She just melts. Adult Chirno. Technically, all childlike characters tend to have mature adult versions of themselves. What do you mean, technically? However, apparently Chirno has one specifically called Chirno-ne. Does she? First I'm hearing of it. Melon flavored Chirno. Advent Chirno. A famous doujin manga parody series of Cloud Strife called Advent Chirno, whose name is a parody of the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children media, was popular enough to become referenced by other artists as well as having a 3D MMD model made for it. Yeah, Advent Chirno is pretty, not finished. The CNN incident. Ever since it featured in the shadow art of her Astrolemeria Records Bad Apple together with its stop-motion counterpart, the American newscasting channel Cable News Network has been nicknamed the Chirno News Network by many Touhou fans due to one reporter's incorrect statements about the production method of the video. Okay, so that was actually in my meme video as well. So basically, there was a video that somebody made of the Bad Apple PV. Yeah. Where they did the whole Bad Apple PV as like with stop motion cards. And it was very, very well made. But the CNN report said that video was the original, and they got they said they got put on blast, but like they fucking cared what a bunch of weebs had to say. But I explained it better in the video, which you should definitely watch because I want your money, and also you definitely want this information. I'm very smart. Finland. In Finland, Chirno is known as Sirkku, a common Finnish female name, also the Finnish name for the fairy tale character Snow White. Is this true? Does anyone actually call her Sirkku? Because that's a stupid name. Call her Chirno, dumbass. Finland thinks they're so fucking special. Fuck Finland. Finland sucks. All my homies hate Finland. Homestuck. One of the songs from Homestuck webcomic series, Hair Conditioning, borrows part of Chirno's theme in its composition. Is otherwise composed in a very Touhou-esque style, with elaborate piano segments and a trumpet part reminiscent of the so-called Zumpet. Small traces of Ryuji Utsu's theme may also be heard. Homestuck. I don't know anything about Homestuck. Homestuck was one of those things that had a reputation to it. You know? Like it had a very negative reputation to it. Like it was like you go on Twitter, everybody loves Homestuck, and it was like, oh god. I to this day do not know what Homestuck is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and I don't care to know either. But it was one of those things that had quite the stigma to it back in the day. Western hip-hop. Western fans have associated her portrait in Phantasmagoria Flower View with poses typical of Western hip-hop artists on album covers. Yeah, sure. Terraria. She is occasionally compared to Cryogen from the Terraria Calamity mod, whose defensive ice shard barrier resembles her wings. In Phantasmagoria Flower View, her icicle attack is similar to Cryogen's shield. In game's weapon Glacial Embrace, old name is Cold Divinity. The name is a reference to her spell card, Freeze Sign, Cold Divinity. Oh, okay. Okay. I heard people say Zun liked Homestuck, but that seems like a made-up story. Of course it's made up. You think Zun knows what Homestuck is? You think he was reading Japanese Homestuck and going, ho ho ho, and then fucking taking the picture and throwing it back? You think that's what he did? Alright. Hong Mailing. God damn. Okay, hold on. We gotta change the music, boys, because we're about to run out of play. Um. Um. Give me this. Love this theme. No, don't look at that. That's my dashboard. Alright. Mei Ling is among one of the popular characters in the Touhou project. She's shown typically as a Chinese character that has a tendency to be portrayed as a joke character that chronically naps way too much to the point of neglecting her job, unlike actual canon where she at least still does her job, often earning herself a knife in the head from Sakuya, if not out of breast envy, as well as additional poor treatment from the rest of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. I hate everything I just read because it's very true. Your stream key is mine, kid. You can't see that on the dashboard, idiot. You can't even see that. You can't see it. China. She's more widely known as China Chugoku, the one whose real name is never remembered. In fan work, she doesn't take that well, which leads to her being shunned or defensive of her name. Many Mei Ling fans don't take it that well either. It is known that in 2 channel, there was a debate on how to read Mei Ling's name. One side said Hong Mei Ling, and the other side said Kurenai Mizuzu. The debate ended sort of when a user said, why don't we just call her China, as her clothing seemed to identify her the most. However, due to the emergence of other memes, this one has become less frequent. Many traces of it still remain, though. Mei Ling's nickname is further ingrained into the minds of fans by her clothing. It's also the name of her stage background, or BGM, Shanghai Scarlet Tea House Chinese Tea. Her stage theme tends to be more frequently remixed by fans than her boss theme, Shanghai Alice of Meiji 17, to the point where Chinese tea became her theme in Touhou Hiso Tensoku. However, other sources and media may or may not read Chinese names in the onyomi format. In Mei Ling's case, her name would have been read as Ko Bire or Mirin. Okay. Being lazy. She is commonly referred to as the lazy guardian of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, though whether this stems from her actual personality or for the nickname China is unknown. Many Japanese people complain about the reliability and quality of products manufactured in China. Oh yeah, definitely only Japanese people. There are many fanfics that depict an enraged Sakuya behind a sleeping Mei Ling in front of the gates of the mansion. The implication is that she has the Chinese quality of reliable China, with much intended sarcasm. Damn. Sakuya relationship. Her relationship with Sakuya seems to be a popular topic for fan work, including comics, music, and games. One running gag involves her being stabbed by Sakuya's knives, often in the head. That's so funny, man. So funny. A reference to this was made in Wild Horn Hermit, but only with Sakuya holding knives with the look that she wants to stab her. This is, however, usually due to her inability to keep unwanted visitors, mostly Marisa Kirisame, out of the mansion. In canon, Mei Ling doesn't appear to be chastised for failing to keep Marisa out. Canonically, she is known to be rather versatile at her job, and the witch is the only known person whom she can't stop from intruding, though Marisa tends to come in via a friendly visit. It's also common for fanworks to depict Marisa caring for Sakuya when the latter was a child. The scenario is somewhat plausible due to Mei Ling being a yokai and Sakuya being human, making it likely that Mei Ling is several decades older than Sakuya. Additionally, they both have the distinction of being the only characters in embodiment of Scarlet Devil to have braided sideburns and ribbons. The fact supports that setting. Another common depiction is them as co-workers with feelings for each other in romantic fanworks. Okay, I gotta say, I actually really like that one in specific. The idea that, like, Mei Ling... I think I saw a doujin of that, actually. I saw a doujin of that. Like, Mei Ling braided Sakuya's hair, and I think when Sakuya grew up, she braided Mei Ling's hair. And she was like, we match now. But she did it all bashfully. I was like, oh, that's nice. So that's why they both have braided hair. That's the reason why. Flandre relationship. Flandre and fanworks, Mei Ling seem to be sort of a big sister or playmate to Flandre rather than Remilia. In comedy works, it can be to throw Mei Ling in the way of more danger. In serious ones, her layback approach to her job and uncontrollably friendly nature, as well as her seeming toughness, makes her a natural choice for reaching out to an otherwise isolated Flandre. Many fanworks depict the two going out of their way to help each other on numerous occasions. She's also seen as a big sister figure for other young characters such as Chirno. I love this version of Mei Ling and Flandre's relationship. I pretend I do not see. CDS did not happen to me. There is no CDS Chapter 4. There is no CDS Chapter 5. There is no CDS Chapter 3. Those chapters I pretend I do not see. Species. Her race remains unconfirmed, but she's commonly associated with dragons due to her shared motifs with them, such as her use of rainbows, hat, and name, and possibly inspiration by the Chinese Hong. This trope most prevalent in fan depictions of her theoretical EX mode, in which she often adopts dragon characteristics. I've never heard of this before. Though some of them use the term EX mailing to refer to mailing getting series. Again, I've never heard the term EX mailing. Often showing considerable amounts of power and durability and hiding it for various reasons. As a panda, Seki Red Shrine has started a trend of mailing assuming the form of a fluffy panda, which is shown to be very friendly to most people. This form is not helpless, as it has been seen jumping out of a pitfall of Taze to considerable heights. Few other artists have copied the trend. I've never seen her as a panda. Sakuya-san Flash Meme. A popular Flash animation called My Name is Hong Mailing spawned the meme Sakuya-san, Sakuya-san, cleaning, stop, room cleaning, stop, after which she gets stabbed in the forehead with a knife. Mugen. In the Mugen community, Mailing is known for her Chojuko Satsu attack, an obvious parody of both her nickname Chogoku China and her signature attack Shungoku Satsu, instant hell murder from Akuma of Street Fighter. Drug use. Due to her comedic scenario in Touhou Hensoku and the nature of one of her battles with a rather simplified background image, fans have made numerous jokes regarding drug experimentation on Mailing's part, though it is more of a very niche depiction. I have never seen anyone depict that. No, it's not Zaza. Shut the fuck up. War cry. In some fanworks, Mailing is known to say Jiao, a war cry attributed to her. The cry originated from the second Touhou M1 Grand Prix. That's also where Chen originated from, which we'll probably see in PCB. But the long cry that Ron does for Chen came from the same one. As a powerful character. Despite her sometimes joke status in fanon, Mailing is often considered a difficult boss fight embodiment of Scarlet Devil on Lunatic, if not hard as well. Because of this, she is sometimes depicted as super strong in a matter of Goku from Dragon Ball, due to her ability to use Ki. Wait a minute, monkey? Not monkey? Comparison to martial artists. Mailing is sometimes compared to famous martial artists in pop culture, such as Chun-Li from Street Fighter, Goku from Dragon Ball, Bruce Lee, and others. Okay, I didn't know she was compared to fucking Goku, dude. I didn't know she was compared to Goku. Hold on, I'm putting on, Shinky theme, because Shinky's theme is very, very good. God, this is a good theme. No, wrong one again. Alright. They call me the drink. My father's the cup. They call him the drink. They call me the cup. Alright. Kawakuma. Despite only making an appearance in one game, she still is seen in most fan arts along with the rest of the Scarlet Devil Mansion residents. Role as a familiar. In many fan fictions, she's regarded as a familiar of Patchouli. This may not be too far from the truth given implications by Zun, but not wholly confirmed. In those fictions, she works as a librarian and a personal servant of Patchouli. Some of those fictions also portray Kawakuma as originating from Makai. I like Chicken Farmer Kawakuma. Fan and personality. In many fictions, she's depicted to be very obedient, steady, and good-natured, on the contrary to Zun's official profile. His personality is acknowledged before Zun replied to the question, and is an exceptional example of a fan-made profile which is accepted by a large majority but not all fans. After Zun's reply, some people describe more impish and mischievous Kawakuma in their fanfictions. Today, various Kwakumas exist in fanfiction, obedient and steady, impish and mischievous, or a combination of both. Yeah, if you didn't know, Zun has stated that both Daiose and Kawakuma, personality-wise, are mischievous, impish. He used like 4 words to describe their personality, and they're both exactly the same for both of them. In other words, he don't give a fuck. He don't fucking care. Fan designs. Kawakuma is sometimes drawn by fans having a pair of black bat-like wings on her back to match the ones on the sides of her head. Kawakuma as a species. Fans commonly portray Patchouli as having multiple Kawakumas assisting her, just as the Scarlet Devil Mansion has numerous fairy maids. A common one is the difference between her strange and bright-natured deity and her embodiment of Scarlet Devil, where she's shown to 2 completely different people, one with short hair and the other with long. Super Marissa World makes a good example of this. The Kawakuma is literally Little Devil, as it's her name for an enemy class that would make sense. So if you're wondering what the Super Marissa World example is, there are secret exits in Super Marissa World, and the secret exit is attributed to, I forget which Kawakama it is, but short hair Kawakama is one exit, long hair Kawakama is the other exit. One's a secret exit, one's a normal exit. And yeah, the depiction from Strange and Bright Nature Deity is the reason why people assume this. That is definitely going to be my Kawakama fact if I can't find anything else, because I like that one. Short hair Kawakama had some staying power for sure, but nowadays there's only one Kawakama. But you can see traces of short hair Kawakama throughout a lot of earlier Touhou. Succubus. Some fan art either implies she's a sort of succubus or just give her a sexy figure due to the devil part and head wings. Listen, you don't have to be a succubus to be given a sexy figure in this series, alright? You don't gotta. Patchouli Knowledge. Although she has only been a boss in one game and playable character in 3 others, technically she's a boss in the fighting games. She's still a very popular character, shown in many endings and is referenced quite often. Mukyu! After being defeated in Marissa's scenario and immaterial and missing power, she utters Mukyu. Since this has been depicted as something of a catchphrase, it is variously interpreted as a groan of displeasure, a simpering whine, or an exclamation of surprise. Based on the numerical pun 6-9, Mukyu, she's often associated with the date June 9th. I didn't know that. So that's why June 9th is Patchy Day? 69? Okay. Nicknames. Along with One Week Girl, she's also referred as the One Week Magician or a Magician of the Week due to her elemental magics coinciding with the days of the week on the Japanese calendar. Multiple nicknames are used for Patchouli, not limited to her canon nickname Patchy. Non-canon nicknames include Pachu. No one's ever used Pachu before in their life. A less common name shortening from Patchouli. In English translations, Patchy is often used as an unofficial anglicization of Patchy. Possible inspirations. Patchouli has been rumored to be inspiration for the character Yu Ayase from the manga Maho Sensei Nejima. Like Patchouli, Yue is short, quiet girl with long purple hair, an unexcitable personality, and affinity for books and magic. She's also known to dress in witch outfits similar to Marissa's. Neat. Shut-in. In other fan comics, Patchouli is considered a hikikomori due to the apparent habit of spending all of her time in one room, the library, and rarely ever stepping outside. She would only have to keep this up for 6 months to meet the time span given in the definition, and she's been living like that for the past 100 years. Okay, first of all, that entire last sentence was unwarranted. Absolutely unwarranted. She would only have to keep this up for 6 months to meet the time span given the definition. But she's been living like that for the past 100 years. What? Get off her, dude. Get off her. She didn't do anything to deserve that. Body type. In fan art, she is given a notoriously variable figure. From thin as a twig to voluptuous, curvy, or rather chubby, possibly because her loose-fitting robes could be hiding almost any body type. Her poor health and sedentary lifestyle are also likely influences. This is actually correct. I think of all the characters in the series, Patchouli is the most varied in her body type. Either she's, you know, thin, or she's, like, dying, or she's fat, or she's just got huge boobs. I mean, huge boobs is just, it just comes with the, you know. But she's probably the most variable. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But certain artists will give her whatever they want. Kogasa's a close contender. There's no chubby Kogasa. Alright. That's really what the divider is the fact that some people make her Fatchouli. It's like Ringo. Ringo and Patchouli are like that. Fan-made products. The book held by the Patchouli figurine Korindo version by Griffin Enterprises features a heptagram with corresponding days of the week and their elements, as well as the introductory text of this article. What article? Patchouli Knowledge. Patchouli redirects here for the Suguri-inspired fan game. See Patchouli game. Okay. How to take out a black thing in front of me without having to do anything. Patchouli game. Patchouli, a little war in Blandol Library, is a challenging horizontal scroll shooter, popular shooter. Suguri. Isn't Suguri the orange juice character? Oh, it is. Oh, it is. It is her. It is the orange juice Suguri. Alright. I turn around, everybody's just saying yes. I didn't even need to do that. Okay. Internet rumors. There is a commonly circulated myth stating that the rhythm of Patchouli's theme Lock Girl, the girl's secret room, when converted into Morse code, spells love. The source of this is likely a cover of the song by Shibuyan Records on the album Magico Catastrophe, in which 3L sings the rhythm over the original melody. Cool. I don't understand what I just read, but cool. Sakuya Izayoi! But before that, we must... Sunny Rutile Reflection. Sunny Milk. Whoa, so sunny. Alright. Sakuya. Sakuya is one of the most popular characters in the Touhou project. She sometimes appears as an icon for the Touhou project. She has never appeared as an icon for a game. It has appeared in many fan games. They just copy-pasted this shit. Fandom personality. Sakuya's personality and characteristics are a bit different in the fan base, implying everybody else's isn't. Such as sometimes being seen with nosebleeds in the presence of Remilia or Flandre. Okay, that is true. Inu Sakuya. In some fan-produced works, Sakuya is depicted with puppy ears and a tail. This is commonly called Dog Sakuya, which is probably a reflection of various characters referring to her as Remilia's dog. Various characters have treated Sakuya as a dog. Also the origin of Fumos. Pads. There's a recurring joke with fans that Sakuya's pads her chest to make her breasts look bigger than they are and are going to great lengths on hiding the secret, even from Remilia herself. The origin of this was due to Sakuya's portraits of immaterial missing power, which showed her having larger breasts than seen on Zun's made portraits. Thus, Pad Cho had become a popular phrase that is frequently seen with Meido Cho, but fans tend to be careful when they use it, as there is another common joke where Sakuya stabs anyone who says this phrase, or even simply saying pad, which is coincidentally similar to the infamous Candlejack meme. There's also many people hating that phrase. Some art also has Sakuya as curvy and without the severe complex. Being angry at mailing. Additionally, a common fan scenario is Marissa Kirisame bearing in sparks, ablazing with Hong mailing being asleep or failing to stop her, and Sakuya trying to stop her to no avail, ending with Sakuya stabbing mailing in the head. This plays out still today, despite canon debunking the whole scenario entirely. JoJo's! Sakuya may be an homage to Dio Brando, the main villain of the manga series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a vampire who was known for stopping time and being skilled at throwing knives. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has been referenced several times in the official games related to the theory that Sakuya may have committed devilish homicide before. One of Dio's former subordinates was Jack the Ripper. One artist, Yumiya, shows a dysfunctional relationship between them, with Sakuya being his daughter. Another fanwork depicts the story of Sakuya becoming a vampire hunter to find her father Dio and ends up meeting Remilia. I have never seen these stories, but I'm sure somebody has. Sakuya, Yomu, and Remilia via their Komaju Densetsu 2 fan game portrayals also share voice actresses with 3 other JoJo characters, being Joline Kujo, Reimi Sugimoto, and Yasuho Hirose, respectively. So, by the way, that Joline credit is... I don't think it's the same person who does her voice in Stone Ocean anime, but that is the voice that was in the fighting games. Like the JoJo All-Star Battle, that one. That is it's Sawashiro Miyuki for Joline. Because the Sawashiro Miyuki is Sakuya as well. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle. Oh, okay. It even specified the game right there as well. I didn't even have to do that. She also sometimes depicted as even having her own stand, possibly also because of her spell card Illusion World, The World, which seems like a similar naming scheme to Jotaro Kujo's Star Platinum, The World. Oh, it's similar to Jotaro Kujo's spell card. Oh, right. You're right. Of course. It's very similar to Jotaro's technique. Damn, I didn't... Come on. Why would you write that, dude? Why would you write that? Whoa, can't sleep because it's nighttime. Why is it similar? It's not Jotaro's technique. He stole it! Implying her stand would just be called Illusion World. Relationshipping. Some fanworks compare it to Yomu Konpaku. Not as much as Reimu or Reisen to Yomu, due to several similarities and not only for their white hair. They both have eyes. They both have red eyes shifting to blue in later artworks. Both have bladed weapons, being stage 5 bosses. As well as undying loyalty to their masters. And play homage to the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They really want to paint Yomu as Silver Chariot, I swear. As well as sharing an interesting dialogue towards Hong Meiling when they defeat her in Touhou Hensoku. Luna, you're so fucking loud. Quiet down! Jesus! Where am I? Also, Sakuya's alternate palette may be considered to be gold instead of yellow, which coincidentally corresponds with Yomu's silver palette, thus the two can be seen in a gold and silver manner. I mean, you know, if you look at Sakuya's Dio palette and you assume it's gold, then it actually matches up really well with Yomu's silver palette. Isn't that crazy? That's insane, right? If you choose to interpret it as something completely different than what it is, then it matches up with something else. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Playable character. Since the announcement of Undefined Fantastic Object and of Sanae Kochiya as the only new playable character along with Reimu and Marisa, jokes and fan art of Sakuya shows her being venomously jealous of Sanae's newfound popularity and prominence commenced due to not being a playable character. She also compared to Mima due to this fact, with 10 Desires and Yomu Konpaku being the heroine there. Jokes range from Sakuya in despair to some depictions of her proud of Yomu, thanks to the One-sama trait Sakuya has with Yomu in fandom. Beforehand, a small amount of fandom had portrayed Sakuya, Yomu, Reisen, Udongen, Inaba, she gets her full name by the way, and Mima to be jealous of Sanae. With Sakuya's return as the sole playable character with Reimu and Marisa in double-dealing character, it's become increasingly common to paint her as another girlfriend of Zun, like it was done with Aya and Sanae before. She may also have been drawn knifing both Sanae and Yomu in the head. This ignores the fact that the characters are pretty indifferent to incidents that do not affect their masters and or homes. That's very true. Very true. Konohana Sakuya Hime theories. What? Oh, what? Zun has said that the contents of Touhou Bugetsu show contained a hint for the reason why Eren Yakokoto was surprised at seeing Sakuya. In Cage and Lunatic Runegate, there appeared another character with the same first name, Konohana Sakuya Hime. If Eren is indeed Yakokoto Omaino no Kami, she would know Konohana Sakuya Hime, since the latter is the wife of Ninigi no Mikoto, Omaino Kane's nephew. Thus, the fact that Sakuya shares the same name as her nephew's wife might be the reason why Eren was surprised. Although nothing is ever explained, since the two share the same first name, though, is a possibility that Sakuya is based off of Konohana Sakuya Hime, or at least in some other way related. In the Kojiki, Konohana Sakuya Hime was written as Babablu, where the Babablu corresponds to the Ya, therefore making every part of the name Sakuya with a base of the Konohana Sakuya Hime. Furthermore, there were tales related to Konohana Sakuya Hime, whether she could be seen to be controlling time like Sakuya, like the tale of the one-night pregnancy and the delivery in the middle of fire. However, nothing is proven, and Zun has said that Eren only knows why she was surprised. Did everybody understand that? Did everybody get it? No? 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 Yes? Oh, wait, we got liars in chat? Liars? Okay. Fate theory. There's a theory that the reason why Sakuya works for Emilia Scarlet is because Emilia manipulated fate on Sakuya. Even Hiero Aki believes this theory. However, another possibility is that maybe she's acting as a treacherous insider for when she sees an opening. Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right. Do you think Sakuya's fucking waiting to gut Remilia? That's what you think? Who thinks that? Who thinks that? Vampire Hunter theory. Due to said theories on the mystery and theory section, some fan arts do showcase Sakuya to be both indeed a Lunarian and or a vampire hunter. Hey, we played a game where she was Lunarian. It was a cool little horror game that wasn't really like you played as Cherno, but Cherno was barely relevant to the plot. But the vampire hunter one is a pretty prominent one. I think it's cool to think of her as a vampire hunter, because vampire hunter is a cool ass title. Nickname. As the head maid boss, Maid Cho is the common title used to address her among fans. Another common name is Sakyun. Some Western fans may give her the title time-stopping, knife-throwing ninja maid or knife-throwing ninja due to her abilities. Chat, have you ever met anybody who was called Sakuya any of those things? Just wondering. I'm not trying to be smart. I'm asking a question. I don't actually know. I do not know. Eins auf Ohr. Shinky theme again. Again, streamer. It's the Fantasy Maiden Wars version. No, but I did hang out in DeviantArt in 2010. Close enough. Close enough. Remilia Scarlet. Charisma break. The best known meme associated with Remilia is Charisma break, or her noble composure breaking, revealing her childish side. It is not clear what exactly inspired it, but a leading factor is her crouching block pose in the fighting games. Various artists take different routes with this meme, while some have others enjoying seeing it happen, while others have it happen at the drop of a hat. There are some artists who subvert this by having Remilia's composure remain intact no matter what happens. This is some basis in canon, as Remilia is fond of acting like a vampire while having some childish tendencies, such as her crouching block. See, here's the thing. I like Remilia's childish tendencies because, one, it kind of gives the idea that she kind of had to grow up fast, but she's still a kid to an extent. Like her high chair. She doesn't eat her vegetables. She hates broccoli. Hates broccoli. Actually, it was dandelions. She ate shitty dandelions, so that's a pass. Obviously, she wouldn't want to eat that. But her childish factors are endearing character traits. Her crouch block, her high chair, they're fun. They're cute little things you can do with the character. And pretty much every single one of them pops up in something that fans have worked on. Not Zun himself. She's a vampire. Why would she like broccoli? There's a difference between liking broccoli and going yuck when you put broccoli to your tongue. Do you do that when you put broccoli on your tongue? You go yuck, you spit it out, and you make a big fuss about it, you big baby man? Is that what you do? Yes, but broccoli is good. Broccoli is good. What are you talking about? Broccoli is good. Motherfuckers don't like broccoli. Insane. Manipulation of fate. Some fan works have postulated that Remilia uses her power to manipulate fate. Ow! Unconsciously. Otherwise, it would be far too great a power. For instance, if she were able to control a person's fate actively, she could have made it Rainbow Hakure's fate to lose to her. Although the spell card rules prevent this. However, Zun has hinted otherwise in Sakuya's Perfectmento in Strict Sense article, where Hieda no Akyu has speculated that Remilia may have manipulated Sakuya's fate in such a way that she could have a more friendly relationship with other human beings. Should this prove to be true, it would mean that Remilia can indeed intentionally or at least consciously manipulate fate. I mean, to be fair, this power makes no fucking sense anyway, so actually trying to explain it is not really feasible or worth your time. Can she do it? Maybe a little bit. How does it work? Who the fuck cares, man? It makes no sense. What kind of fucking power is manipulation of fate? Guess what? I can manipulate fate too. Watch this. You see this coin? I'm gonna flip it. Heads or tails will decide your fate. Except it's a two-headed coin, jackass, so no matter what you do, you're gonna land on heads. There. I've manipulated your fate. What you got on me, Remy? Huh? What you got on me? Some fans think her ability enables the desired effect, but not how it happens or how long it takes for it to happen. This will make it an ability poorly suited for fast wins, but make it very useful in long-term schemes. Something vampires are said to be fond of. Who said that? Against the vampire's weakness. While it's common to have a parasol with Remilia and Flandre in fan works, many works have Remilia to not be weak against her weaknesses, such as garlic, sunlight, and water. Even though these are hazardous to Remilia, she can be seen swimming in water, not bothered by garlic, or even walking in broad daylight. These kinds of fanworks make people come to conclusions she is actually a vampire daywalker, or has recently become one. This would be due to not enough research was put into what weaknesses Remilia has, but some fans conclude that going outside in sunlight parasol is canon, because of her custom parasol system card in Hisotensoku, allowing her to fight outdoors. But without a parasol, this would explain why she can walk outside. I guess that's, I guess. That does explain how she can even do anything in Hisotensoku. In her story mode, she doesn't leave the mansion because of the weather. But you can play her in different locations and verses where she shouldn't be able to appear. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Remilia seems to have been given her own associated character from the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series, much like a number of others, frequently being crossed over with Diavolo, whose stand King Crimson erases time for everyone but himself and allows him to see the future, effectively allowing him to alter his immediate fate to suit himself. She's also compared to Dio as she is a vampire, throws knives, even quotes Dio, and controls Sakuya, who can stop time. Diavolo is confusing. King Crimson is confusing. Role as a villain. She is a popular antagonist in some fanworks due to her fondness of being the big bad vampire and her short temper, often with some exaggeration mixed in. Tsundere. She's sometimes shown to be a tsundere in some fan art due to her noblewoman tendencies. Nicknames. As the older sister, she is commonly called Ojo-sama by fans and what is primarily used to refer to her. Whenever Flandre Scarlet refers to her sister, though, she calls her One-sama. Another common nickname is Remedia. Remedia, though it's mainly used for cutesy renditions of her. This is a common joke that Sakuya Izayoi calls her Ozio-sama instead, which has made it a very common nickname for her. Some Western fans will shorten Remilia's name to Remy or Remy. What kind of fucking idiot shortens her name to that? Ozio-sama? I've never heard that. Ooh. A common meme regarding Remilia is Remilia Ooh. Remilia Ooh, which people think is cute. Naming scheme. I don't know where the ooh comes from. Some fans and at least one fan comic have made fun of her bizarre naming sense seen in her fighting game spell cards. Don't fucking diss her tuny names, dude. Don't diss it. Don't diss it. Don't diss it. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a good theme. Give me a good theme. Yes. Yes. Ruma. Where am I? Characteristics. While Remilia doesn't actually own the mythical Gungnir, she's often depicted wielding an actual spear as to match Flandre's label tane. Depending on the artist, its appearance varies from a simple arrow-shaped rod of red... Jesus, Reed streamer. Its appearance varies from a simple arrow-shaped rod of red energy, like in the spell card, to a fine and very elegant spear. Flandre Scarletto. Flandre has not made many appearances in the series, but maybe because of her personality and the way she looks and acts, she's become a very popular character. One reason would be because of her theme music, You and No One Was Her. It's particularly famous and often used in Mad videos, and for a time introduced many as newcomers Hoi Hoi on Nico Nico to Touhou. Furthermore, the arrangement Final Savage Sister Flandre as in the album Touhou Strike by Cool and Create seems to have been mistaken by many to have been the original music. Big Sister China. In fanworks, Hong Meiling is seen as a sort of big sister or playmate to Flandre. Comedy works. Yeah, we read that earlier. EX boss inspiration. There's speculation that most of the extra stage bosses in the Windows era up to Undefined Fantastic Object were based. Let's see. Flandre, Ron, Yukari, Moko, Suako, Koishi, Nue. Does it check out? I think it checks out, boys. I think it checks out. In some way on Flandre. There are also depictions in fan art with Flandre and some of the other extra stage bosses with her. Here are the following reasons. Koishi Komeiji is one of the most popular ones. It stems from the fact that they both possess greater powers than that of their sisters, Satori and Remilia. Also, Flandre and Koishi are the younger sister to their sister, who both own a mansion. Depictions on New Huju is also common. This stems from the fact that New's theme, Hey an Alien, sounds similar to Flandre's theme to some. Depictions with Moko has dropped in popularity due to the two above, but is still common. The name Moko means Scarlet, younger sister, and according to Zuna, can also mean paint me red. But it has no connections to Flandre. Another reason for the pairing is that Moko is immortal and has little to fear from Flandre's destructive strength. Paint me red. I don't understand the Nue one. I don't hear UNO and Hey an Alien at all. Koishi. A popular pairing is Koishi, as they are both younger sisters, both live in a mansion, but Koishi is free-spirited while Flandre remains in her room. Some fans think Koishi's ability would make it easier for her and Flandre to communicate. This is possibly because Koishi could also just visit undetected. She is stated to talk to children who see her as an imaginary friend. Flandre, Koishi, and Nue are often paired together. Nue is often paired with Flandre due to her unnatural wing designs. She also is becoming a glowing orb similar to one of Flandre's spell cards. Flandre, Koishi, and Nue are often paired together possibly because they all look like young girls. If that's all it took to pair characters, then fucking every character would be with every character, buddy. Come on now. They all look like young girls. Fuck off with that. Ronald McDonald. Jesus Christ, look at her fandom page, dude! It goes on forever! Flandre has been commonly shown with Ronald McDonald in a crossover due to her theme being remixed, which is so-called McRoll. It has been the first contact with Touhou for thousands of Western internet users. People referring to UNO was her as the McRoll Ron Run Roo Do what? No, Roo song is a sore point among many longtime Touhou fans in the early days. Get over it, you fucking baby. In addition to this, videos with her versus Ronald are common, more towards the Western fan base. Based on the customizable fighting game Mugen, Ronald McDonald's Mad is often cited as one of the foundational meme pillars of the Nico Doga community, which would explain how Flandre's popularity was also boosted, if not also becoming tied to Ronald. I love Ronald, man. I've seen Ronald Mugen, yes. And I know that he has a billion fucking edits. There are so... Look, there are more... Now, before you Fumodor me, alright? This is my anti-Fumodor. You can't Fumodor this comment, alright? You can't do it. You can't do it. Stop. You can't do it. There are more Ronald McDonalds than there are Kuromarus in Mugen history, alright? That's all I'm saying. That's a big fucking deal, dude. That's a big deal. It's a lot of Ronalds. I told you can't Fumodor me. Fuck off. I put up my protective shield. Lack of appearance. Even when compared with a lot of characters in the fan base, Flandre's appearances in fan works are limited. Likely due to her limits on movement as only appearances within or around the Scarlet Devil Mansion. The number of appearances in-game and within Printworks is average compared to many other characters. Although when grouped with other characters from embodiment of Scarlet Devil, excluding mid-bosses, her appearances do appear to be limited. Another factor would be her high, hardly restrained power. Having her playable in any accurate sense would make her overpowered, though in fan games most go about giving her a glass cannon build, giving her low defenses or other flaws to offset her massive attack power ratings. Also, she may be shown as a one-off boss or simply having a cameo or a small reference. Oh, you know what's really good? A good theme? Pizza Tower. Don't make a sound. This is one of the best themes in the game, bro. Let me tell you. This is a good ass theme. Great level. Strangely, some fans have come up with the idea that Flandre has become a PC-98 character who has disappeared from the Touhou project, like Bima and Shinki, due to Flandre not making many appearances and because Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil was released not far from Mystic Square. It wasn't until Touhou 17.5 that Flandre would appear again as a playable character. Damn. Flandre's wings. It has been speculated that her wings are artificial and that she fashioned them herself and then attached them to her body. One source of this is probably to Reimo Hakurei saying she was unable to fly with those wings and their unnatural appearance. According to Fanon, she may have lost her original wings or been born without them. Some artists go about giving her bat form these wings despite her bat form having normal wings in embodiment of Scarlet Devil. Some fans speculate that her wings are made of steel and prisms, creating different colors using the dim lights of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. In some fanworks, the crystals on her wings are sometimes shown to be storage of magical power. Dude, I actually love the idea of her wings being like junk. Making her own wings out of junk and scrap metal. That's a cool idea. Another thing often done by artists is depicting Flandere's wings in either the most spectacular way possible or replacing the crystals with other multicolored objects. Examples could be lasers, iPods, apples, or other massive multicolored angel wings. One of the large image hosting sites, Domboro, has a category dedicated to this called Fancy Wing Flandere. I didn't know that. Flandere's Labeltane. Her sword varies in appearance as well as the clock hand shaped object she holds. Normally it's just depicted as her clock hand shaped wand turned into a flaming sword, or she's just a flaming sword. By the way, if you didn't know, chat, Labeltane is a wand. This is a really strange thing, but Labeltane is a wand. It's not a sword. It's a wand, but she swings it, and it feels like it's a sword. That's probably gonna be my Flandere fact as well, because that's one that's like, who cares? But also it's like, oh, neat. Marks. Wait, another depiction is Labeltane being her tail, with the clock hand being tipped almost like a succubus tail. I've never seen that before. Marks. Her wings have caused some artists to her be alongside Marks from Kirby Superstar, who has similar wings in his boss form. Laugh. A common meme regarding Flandere is Flanchan Ufufu, since many people attribute the slightly sinister laugh Ufufu to Flandere, as well as the fact that her name is commonly affectionately abbreviated to Falm-chan. Also, some fans will simply shorten Flandere's name to Falm. Yeah, I know them. They're weirdos. They're weirdos. Artists or skillful. For some unknown reasons in fan works, Flandere is shown to be a very good professional artist. This would be due to her being locked away and having nothing better to do. There was one occurrence where Flandere drew a map of the world through bedwetting, while Cherno drew a rubbish version of... Hey, what? What did I just read? Flandere drew a map of the world through bedwetting, while Cherno drew a rubbish version of Reimu Hakurei. There are been other variations where Flandere is surprisingly knowledgeable or is skillful at something for the same reason. I'm gonna click this, but not... You can't see it until I know what it is. What is this? What? Chino kind of got it though. I'll give her that. Chat, she peed that. She peed that whole map. How did she even do that? How did she even do that? How did she even do that? I don't even know how she did that, dude. How did she do that? That's freaky. That's freak stuff. Alright, hold on. There's another one I want. I think it's this one. The Poly Dream. Yeah. Alright. Fandom personality. In many fanworks, Flandere is shown with one or two different personalities, or possibly a bipolar one. One is a personality based on her appearance, being very childish, and the other is a super sadistic and violent mass murderer-like personality based on her personality accumulated hate of the years trapped in the mansion. However, this is mostly because Flandere destroys things, humans or yokai. Should probably turn the vocals down. Okay. Flandere destroys things, humans or yokai, without knowing the meaning of it, and because she never learned how to attack things properly. In more recent fan works, she has tried giving Flandere a more complex personality, and it may mix some of the two types along with other aspects or complexes. This may be due to them being more aware of her Bohemian Archive and Red article, where she's shown to be neither of the above two. Yes. Nicknames. Maybe because of the uniqueness of the phrase Imoto-sama, many fans use this to refer to her, but in canon it's only been used once by Patchouli in Marissa's Extra Story in Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. Wait, that's true? Huh, wait, that's a cool factoid as well. I might use that over the Labeltane one. So Imoto-sama is a common, a well-known nickname for Flandre, but it's only ever been used in canon once by Patchy of all characters. Cool. JoJo's! Flandre has become a favorite for people to cross over with the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character Kira Yoshikage. Why? Or to be more exact, with the Stand Killer Queen. Its power being to turn anything it touches into a bomb. Oh, okay, right, yeah, that makes sense. Or create invulnerable heat seeker bombs. The destruction level and similarity of the stand has drawn people to put the two together. Rin Satsuki. Keep in mind, Rin Satsuki is a scrapped character with the only info being her name. Despite not being a real character, Rin Satsuki is a unique phenomenon of having her image being crafted organically by the fanbase over time, to the point where the fanbase has a solid idea of what she should look like. Common fan depiction. Fans have different interpretations of her appearance. The most commonly accepted one is the circle cut of the Team Shanghai Alice poster girl. Alice spelled with 2 L's. Okay, and lowercase for no reason. Although the poster was black and white, the most common colors of her is blonde hair, a pink blouse, and a red underdress ribbon, as well as having socks that are light pink in color. This is an example. Fandom personality. Most fans had Rin fit with a negative personality, it always being a nobody and or an unknown person she's around other characters. The reason for this is she has had no appearance in any game, only leaving a trace of her name along with the spell cards that she would be using and the source code of the embodiment of Scarlet Devil, making her think she doesn't even appear for any reasons. It's also depicted as having jealous feelings towards Rainbow Marissa, thinking the above reasons is the wise one chose her to be the one left out instead of one of them. In other works, she is seen alongside Rainbow and Marissa as their friend. Some fans depict Ren as a mentally unstable person, frequently depressed and crying. Why though? Why though? I don't know why you would do that. Dude, look how fucking big this page was. This page was like an hour alone. Oh my god, I said one more and this page took an hour. I didn't even scroll all the way up. Oh my god. Oh well. Alright, we're through it. 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 We did it. No, there will be Omega text for PCB and IN. Those are big games. PCB will probably be quite big. It will probably thin out at some point. I'm not sure when, but we're not gonna have too many characters who have this much text to them again. Alright. 10 will have something for like Snai, but I don't think it'll have as much. But I haven't looked at it yet. Anyway, chat. Did you enjoy? Yes or yes? Please answer truthfully. This will be on the test. Okay. I had fun. I had fun with this. I thought this was fun to look at. There are definitely some of these fandom pages that haven't been updated in well over a decade. There's also some that are spouting absolute fucking nonsense that it's actually funny. There's also some that I've learned information from, which is pretty cool. So overall, I call it a success, and I will definitely finish this up. Maybe in one more stream. There's a dark mode. There's a dark mode on the top. I didn't know that. Oh my god, I had no idea. I had no idea. Oh my god, there's a dark mode for the Wiki. Why have I not been using that? Oh no, I didn't know. I didn't know that was there. I never looked at it. Look at it. It's at the very top of the page. You do one scroll, any scroll, and it's immediately gone and completely out of your sight. The dark mode sucks? You suck. Your eyes suck. God damn. That is so much easier on my eyes. And now it's like creepypasta. It's like creepypasta dark. EX Rumia. Broadly rumored among fans that the amulet is some kind of seal. and that taking it off will release her true power. Like, ooh, scary. Okay, well, I didn't know this. Alright. Dark mode, pure black, and pure white are lazy. Doesn't matter if they're lazy. Black is easier on the fucking eyes than white, dude. Alright. Bro loves getting flashbanged every day of the week. Turns on light mode for his Discord. So here, let me... God damn. Twitch light mode? Bro, I have not been on Twitch light mode since the dawn of time. I'm on dark mode and everything that I know has dark mode. I did not know this wiki had dark mode. I really didn't. I really, really didn't. And now I wish I did. Alright, chat. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I'm going to finish this project. And we'll do more. We'll check more things out. A lot of cool information here. Fun to talk about as well. And yeah, it went better than expected, I think. I think it went better than expected. So I had a great time. So we'll finish her up, or we'll get closer. But I think we can probably finish her up next time based on the fact that Touhou 18 is probably going to have like nothing. And we're going to, as long as we don't get super sidetracked, we should be able to get through it all. We'll see, though. We'll see.